Morning, everyone. How are you? Hope you're all well. Sunday, the 14th of June. My granddaughter was bloody 19 yesterday. Ellie, can you believe that? Feels like yesterday's little kid, and her and Will were tiny, and I was out camping with them. She's 19 yesterday. Bloody hell. And I forgot her birthday. Oh, dear, oh, dear. How's all going? Hope you're well. And sorry, I'm a little bit late on this morning. I was a minute late, everyone. I've been out relocating a snake that I caught at 3 a.m. this morning in the house. No audio. No audio. Is that John? Is that you, or is that me? 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Clear, clear, clear. All good here. Everyone's saying. Miko, g'day, mate. John, turn your volume on. Russie dude, g'day, mate. G'day, Buck and Raff from Toddy Higginson. G'day, Toddy. How are you, mate? Hey, Roberto. How are you, mate? Yeah, John. John had a diddly donk moment, everyone. It was him. So, speaking of John, there was a couple of us on there yesterday. John did his inaugural live feed from Oregon in the USA yesterday, everyone. And Lukey Reed, Timmy Ryan, me, Lynn Rogers. Who else was on there? G'day, Ty. A few others on there. Well done, John, for your first effort, mate, on a live feed. That was very, very good, mate. So well done. And don't sit there and expect 200 people on your first one, mate. It's a work in progress. You just keep chipping away at it, mate, and keep talking about interesting subjects that people like to hear about. Camping is the one of them, and people will join in, mate. So, yeah, well done on yesterday. Really enjoyed it. And looking forward to your next one, mate. Bloody going to be fantastic. Pete McMurtry's on. Lorna McMillan. Tracy Lindenberg. Lorna, do me a favour, will you? I was just literally making a coffee to come in, and I was watching the news, and it showed the protests against One Nation Party down in Victoria. And there's guys there, death to One Nation and death to Australia and all this, their signs. And it's blokes wearing dresses. There you go. That's from Victoria, everyone. Unbelievable. These are the people that got us into this mess. But anyway, we're not going down a political rabbit hole. But, if someone was there yelling that shit out about the Labor government, I reckon the police would have been there making arrests. But because it was against Pauline and Barnaby and that, nothing happens. They just let it go. The two standards in this country, there really is. And that's what pisses me off. What pisses Buck off? ORF is that. Some bloody lunatic protesting in a dress. Come on. Is that where our country's got to, is it? I don't know. I just shake my head. I'm just glad my dad's not around to see this shit, and my grandfather. They just go, my God, what happened? Where we go wrong? Anyway, let's get back on to positive things, everyone. Some more shout-outs. Steve, g'day, mate. How are you? I hope Steve and Annie and Winnie and Jasper are good down there in Kingaroy. East Coast camper chasers, sorry. Good morning, Buck, and good morning to everyone. Welcome aboard. Peter B, 58. G'day, mate. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you on. Yeah, so I hope you're well, Ty. And I messaged Ty the other day, everyone. I'm having bloody Jackery problems. Jackery power station, the 240 volts not working. I went to use it during a power outage before I got the inverter and that sorted out with that change from a safety switch to a circuit breaker, and went to use the Jackery. Nah, just when you need it, nah, 240's not working. So anyway, Jackery's going to get back to me. So God knows how long that'll take. I said to Ty the other day, they better sort it out for me under warranty, because even though it was given to me, otherwise the next clip I do for Jackery will be an axe going through it. That'll make for good viewing. So we'll see what they come back with. Toxaphilly saying good day to everyone. Too young for year-olds. Typo there, Steve. Oh yeah, I can guess where they were from, Steve. I think we all know that one. SS. The country, SS. Can anyone think of where it is? It's in a big continent called Africa, and a country that starts with SS. That's where most of our knives and machete problems come from, and we keep letting them in. Anyway, don't put me down that rabbit hole, everyone. Let's talk about camping. Morning, Buck. Question about your box trailer. Yes, mate. Francis Fitzgerald. G'day, mate. Do you go down the heavy-duty road? Did you go down the heavy-duty road with it? No, mate. Woodley Station's only 3.5 kilometres in off the main Kennedy Highway on the way out to Innet Hot Springs, Mount Garnet. That's the Kennedy Highway. And, mate, there's 3.5 kilometres of mildly corrugated road getting in, and then a little bush track to get down to the camp and things. No, mate, I don't. That's a garden trailer with road tyres on it, lightweight light leaf suspension, mate. You won't see me doing the bloody Old Telly track or the Peninsula Development Road or the Gibb River Road with it, mate. It's just a little box trailer to go to camping spots. No, it doesn't do heavy-duty roads, mate. You'd have to buy a proper camper trailer with four-wheel drive suspension for that. So everything's got its limits. But at the end of the day, and I keep saying this, a lot of campsites now, everyone, you can get there in a normal car, like national parks and all that. And we're going to talk about this heavily today. A lot of these campsites, you can get there in a two-wheel drive, a lot of the places. Yeah, to get up to Cape York and all that, you need the heavy-duty stuff. But just to go local camping, to pitch a tent like Woodley Station, that's all I need. Hey, Gods, I'm going to start off some sad news, and he's in the house here, and I spoke to him last night, everyone, and he said the community might as well know about it, everyone. I was going through Facebook last night, and there was a caravan for sale, Zone RV. Anyway, it happens. Brad and Mary Howell are selling their Zone RV, everyone. So I went, holy dooly. I rang Brad up, and he said, Buck, some sad news. Me and Mary are splitting the sheets, mate, and which is bloody. I'm good friends with Brad and Mary, so something's gone wrong there, and apparently Mary found Brad on Grindr, everyone. Can you believe that? And Mary said, I'm out of here. He's changed sides. She's found Bradley on Grindr, and she's out, and she's selling the caravan on him. So there you go. You've heard it first here on the Buckaroony channel. Bradley Howell's on Grindr, everyone, and him and Mary are splitting up, and they're selling their caravan. Did anyone know? I'm the first one to break that news. Now, before you all fall off your chairs, I'm joking, everyone. I am joking. Bradley isn't on Grindr. Well, I don't think he's on Grindr, but he is selling his caravan. But him and Mary are not splitting the sheets. I rang up last night when I saw his caravan for sale. I said, what's going on? Are you and Mary splitting up? He said, no, but you can spread the rumour. So I said, I'll do it tomorrow morning on the live feed, everyone. So, no, Brad and Mary are not splitting the sheets, everyone. They're selling their caravan, and we'll talk about why they're selling their caravan. Nathan said he saw the ad yesterday. Yeah, it took me by surprise. So Brad and Mary are selling their caravan. They're 2023 Zone RV, and she's like top specs, everyone. She's top of the range, got all the gear in it. But Lorna McMillan going bullshit. It is bullshit, Lorna. I'm only joking. And I've spoken to Brad and Mary about it. And when I said, Brad, Brad had me on loudspeaker. I said, did Mary find out you're on Grindr, did she? And Mary pissed herself laughing in the background. So, yeah, no, it's bloody... Anyway, we'll talk about caravans and all that type of stuff. And, you know, Brad and Mary have made the hard decision to sell their caravan after 3 years. They did some great trips in it. And we'll talk about that soon. I wish I was on StreamYard. I could... Brad, maybe next Sunday morning, Brad, if you want to come on, we can talk more in depth about that. So Don't go around saying Brad and Mary splitting up, everyone. I heard it. Buck said it. It's a joke. And but they are selling their caravan. Big T Sinatra said, I've seen Brad's profile on Grindr Marketplace. Anyway, for those who don't know what Grindr is, it's like a horse's hoof version of Tinder, everyone. So no, Brad hasn't changed sides. He's not batting for the other side either, everyone. That is a good rumour we could start, that Bradley was seen down at the shopping centre in a dress and at the One Nation protest in Melbourne in a dress. Yeah, so there you go. Buck, you do know how to start shit. Paulie Martin. Yeah, no, it's all right, mate. I okayed it with Brad. I wouldn't get up and say something like that. I okayed it with Brad last night, and I said I'll let the cat out of the bag tomorrow morning. Tell everyone you and Mary are splitting up because you're selling the caravan. Because that's, as soon as I know it's a bad thing, I saw the caravan for sale, and I didn't automatically think Brad and Mary splitting up, but I thought, well, shit, what's wrong? I hope nothing's wrong, like I don't know. Someone in the family's bloody sick and they got financial problems and have to sell the van to pay for treatment. And you always think of the worst when you see something like this, but it's not. It's basically, and we'll tackle it now. Brad can let us know here. Yeah, Brad said, can a moderator pump the host? I don't know. It could be a first. It could be a first for YouTube where the bloke with the blue shield, everyone, punts the host from it. Oh, dear, oh, dear. I talked to Brad. I said, why are you getting rid of it, Brad? And Brad said, mate, me and Mary just want to go in a different direction for a while. They said, we want to do some, they've got grandkids and that now, everyone. Alex's kids, and they've got grandkids, so they want to spend a lot of time with the grandkids, probably doing less travel. The cost of towing a caravan now, and Brad said, because we're not using the van as much as what we have been for the last 3 years, it's sitting in the shed. I'll back Brad up on this in a minute because ours does the same thing. He said the insurance for that Zone RV, that's nearly $200,000 caravan, everyone. You imagine the insurance on it, and then the registration on it, and then the servicing every year to get your bearings checked and your brakes checked and, all that type of stuff. That's not cheap because I'm about to go through it on Wednesday. Brad said, we just want to do a bit of overseas travel and just do some other things for a while. And he said, we'll eventually come back and probably go into a smaller caravan in a few years' time once they've done what they want to do. I think they want to do some overseas travel on that. So they can use that money for that. And yeah, anyway, so it took me as a surprise, Brad and Mary getting rid of their zone. So if anyone wants a really good top-of-the-range Zone RV caravan, everyone, Brad and Mary are selling it. Get on to Brad. And it's like anything, it's I said to Roz, after we saw Brad and Mary selling theirs, I said, well, have a look at ours. Here we are on 14th of June, and our caravan has been out this year 2 nights down to Cowley Beach for 2 nights. That's it. So are we getting our money's worth out of the van? No, we are not. And the main reason we haven't been out much this year is the weather is shite up here, everyone. We had 2 really nice weeks where we did take the van out, and it's bloody raining again. Look at the weather for Innisfail. There's no end in sight. There's no sun until at least Sunday, like in a week's time. It's just all rain. The whole of North Queensland, it's just been a shit year for weather. Anyway, we are going to the Barra Crab, so that's going to be a good trip. We're not just going to the Barra Crab and home. We're going to hit some places on the way down and hit some places on the way back. That'll be our decent sized trip for the year. And then hopefully the weather plays ball after the Barra Crab and we can do some little local things as well. There's a nice cattle station out past Woodley Station on the way to friggin' hell, my memory, everyone. Anyway, further out on the Kennedy Highway, there's a cattle station out there that looks really nice to camp. So we want to go out with a caravan there and do a few nights out there. Undara Lava Tubes is where I'm talking. I'd love to go and do Undara lava tubes and Cobalt Gorge again, everyone, but we got Rafa. And now that Rafa's on medication 4 or 5 times a day, we can't just palm Rafa off. So here, Mum, look after Rafa for a week. We're going somewhere like we used to be able to do when he was younger. He's full-time care now. So, yeah, we're just governed by Raf. If we can't take Raf with us, we don't go. Anyway, let's do some things. So it's all bullshit. Brad and Mary aren't splitting up, everyone. Don't go on your phone and whatever. Everything's good, but they are selling their caravan. And it's just the cost of everything and not getting their money's worth out of it. They're not using it as much as what they did in the first 3 years. Priorities change, everyone. So, and Brad said, we'll come back in a few years when we get the bug again, and we'll probably buy a little smaller caravan because that's a big caravan. We'll buy a little smaller 15-foot caravan just for me and Mary, and we'll do some traveling again. So, and as Brad said, if we want to go to a little camping thing, Brad and Mary still got the dot trailer, everyone, the drifter trailer, the camper trailer. So they've still got a camper trailer to go camping. So there you go. Anyway, good luck with it all, Brad. Hope it all works out good for you, mate. I know it'll be sad seeing the end of the Zone RV. It's a beautiful caravan, mate. All the bells and whistles, but as Greggy Campbell said, I haven't seen. Greg's obviously said something there. Yeah, so yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Like I'll tell you now, it's the middle of camping season up here, and the caravans before the fuel crisis, everyone. We used to see just an endless stream of caravans going through Innisfail, heading to Cooktown and Cairns and Cape York and places like that. Minimal now. You go down to the Driver Reviver here, down the road, and it's just about bare. There's a couple of vans at best at the Driver Reviver. You can really see there's a lack of caravans up here this year, and it's because of the cost of fuel and the cost of living, everyone. As if the cost of living's not bad enough in this country now. Going out on, it's still over $2 a litre for diesel here in North Queensland. It's better than $3, I know. Fuel's come down, yes, but it's still not down to where it should be, everyone. I paid $1.68 a litre for diesel on the first day of the war, and it went up to $3.30 or something. It's back down again, but there's no end in sight to this war, so there's nothing saying that the price of fuel's not going to jump up again. Caught up with the Rowies yesterday down at Cowley Beach. The Rowies are doing a trip from Wollongong. G'day, Rowies, if you're on. And it was great to catch up with Anthony and Judy down there at Cowley Beach. They're going up to Cairns and then going to slowly work their way inland on the way back down to New South Wales. And they were nearly going to cancel their trip. And Rowie said, I budgeted $4 a litre for diesel for the trip. And he said, thank God it's come down to $2 type thing at the moment. But, you know, like that's why a lot of people aren't traveling, everyone, is the cost of fuel, thanks to this bloody war that's going on. Yes, and that's exactly right, Beaker. The excise at the end of the month, remember that the government gave us a 27 or 26 27 cents a litre, I think it was, fuel excise. They took that off the government, and then the state government did the 6 cents. So it was about 32 cents a litre. So at the end of the month, everyone's forgotten about this. When the excise goes back on, the fuel tax, remember they cut it by 50%? That's going back on. So fuel's going to jump another 30 cents a litre at the end of the month when the fuel excise goes back on, and the state GST. It was about, was it 27 or 26 cents a litre fuel excise, federal government, and about 6 cents a litre state government. So it's about 32 cents. So it's going to go back up exactly. That's Craig Jemison. Diesel's dropping in Newcastle enough for me to book 4 weeks off in October. That's good, Craig. But just remember, mate, she's going up another 30 cents at the end of the month. And do you think the Labor government's going to come out and go, we're going to extend the fuel excise for another 3 months? No, They're not going to do it, everyone. They're not going to do it. Diesel as low as $1.87 on occasions here in Newcastle. Okay. And add 30 onto that. Yeah, we're still 205 here in Innisfail. I'm still paying 205 for diesel. And unleaded or gas, as John would say, is $1.80 a litre. Still too high, everyone. Still too high. But yeah, we all forgot about that 30 cents. She's going to bung it back on in about 2 weeks' time, everyone. So when you go to fill up before the end of the month, just before the end of the month, make sure you fill your tanks up, because I think she's going to up another 30 cents. Nathan, Walloon diesel's $1.95. Yeah, that's bearable, Nathan. Anything under $2, I'd like to see it down around 160, 170. But we forgot about the 30-cent fuel excise. So if you're paying $2 a litre now, you're going to be $2.30 in another 2 weeks. And everyone's going to go, holy shit, we forgot about that. We got short memories, eh? Don't think $2 something is cheap for diesel, everyone. It's cheap compared to $3. But remember what you were paying for diesel before the bomb started going into Iran. I paid $1.68 a litre on the first day of the war. I said to Roz, as soon as those missiles started, I said, I'm going to go and fill both vehicles up. I got diesel for $1.68 here in Innisfail. And it's now $2.05. It's come back down to $2.05. And another 30 bunging on in 2 weeks. So don't forget about that. Yeah, people be filling Jerry's again. Yeah, exactly. And can you blame people if they've got half a dozen Jerry's in their shed just before the fuel excise goes back down? Watch it again. Everyone will be in filling fuel Jerry's up to get the fuel cheaper than paying another 30 cents. It's just what you do. And the government will come out again. Don't be greedy and fill your Jerry's up. And I'll keep the fuel excise off of the fuel then. Already bloody, that's only 50% of it. So they're getting 60-something cents a litre in fuel excise, the government. It's just another one of the million taxes that they get us with, isn't it? We're going down another rabbit hole. Thanks, Baker. Glad we're not towing to the Barra Crab, Lynn. Yeah, me and Roz are. And, you know, it's our big trip for the year. And hopefully, you know, it is what it is. Like if it's $2.30 a litre, I'll be still going to the Barra Crab. I would have been going at $3 a litre. It would have hurt, but we're still going down. We're not going to Victoria or anything. A Barra Crab's about 8-hour drive, but we're going to stop off on the way down too. So, yeah, I just paid $1.86 for diesel. That's bearable, Steve. It's still a little bit high, isn't it? But as I said, 2 weeks' time, mate, you'll be paying way back up over $2 a litre again. We're still at 205 here in in Innisfail. Anyway, Claremont too. Yeah, Rob, there you go. Claremont, which is in the middle of nowhere, everyone, is $2.40. So in a 2 weeks' time, she's going to be back to $2.70. And guess what goes through Claremont? All the B doubles, everyone. That's where the B doubles go down through that route. So your truckies be paying $2.70 a litre for diesel, which means all the freight and cartage costs go up, which means absolutely everything that travels by road goes up, especially our fruit and vegetables and our stuff from the supermarkets. So don't think this fuel thing's over, everyone. It's not. The war's still going on. There's still no end in sight. There's still a chance that it could really bite in, and that it only takes a couple or a month of us not being able to procure enough fuel from somewhere, and we're going to be in bloody trouble again. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. What can we do about it, everyone? You just got to go with the flow, haven't you? It's out of our hands. That's what the government gets paid for, to make decisions and make sure we've got enough fuel in the country to survive. Anyway, electric vehicles will save us. Yeah, apparently so. Who was it? Who was I talking to? Was it Steve Fuller or Rowie? Someone said that they were on a trip somewhere and the electric vehicles were lined up. And there was one electric charging station. Oh, it was Steve. It was Steve. on Steve's latest clip, or his second latest clip, everyone. He was in a town, forget the name of the town, down in New South Wales, and he said the lineup, people were waiting hours to charge their electric vehicles. So we don't have the electric vehicles might be fine, and they probably are fine if there's enough infrastructure around the country to charge the damn things up. There's only one electric charger here in Innisfail that I know, over across the road from BCF. There's only one electric charging station in this town. So what happens if half the town's got electric vehicles? There's a couple getting around, not many. What happens when half the town's got electric vehicles and there's one charging station? And then it takes half an hour to charge your vehicle and everyone's lined up. You go to a servo and throw unleaded or diesel in, takes you 5 minutes, grab a Chico roll, and you're on the road again. So, yeah, electric vehicles, I can see that there's a future for electric, but only if the infrastructure's in place. Someone got stranded going to Perth a couple of months ago in a Tesla. He couldn't get across a Nullarbor because where the charging stations were at Eucla and that, when he got to them, they were broken and he couldn't charge his car up. You get to a charging station, there's only one in the town and she's broken, you ain't going nowhere. At least if the servo's got diesel, you can keep moving. Anyway, so latest saw clip was on the electric refit. Looked cool. Very interested in the Egon hub. Yeah, Steve's got some big moves. I think you're making the right move there, Steve. I was never a fan of having all your electric stuff around the tub of your vehicle, mate. I must admit, I think it'll be a lot better in the front of the caravan where you're going to put it. I think you're making a good move there. So, yeah. Some caravan parks here will not allow you to charge electric vehicles. Won't let you use their 240. Well, when you charge an electric vehicle off a normal 240 and not a high output one, doesn't it take like 10 or 12 or the whole night to charge the vehicle up because you're only getting a low draw on it. We take our van each school holidays in 2 weeks. We'll go to Longreach, Winton, and then back to Emerald, and then to the Barra Crab. Last year, we changed our 2017 Hilux to an LDV Terran 9 Evolve and love it. Yeah, Rob, I want to have a chat to you and Maria about your Terran 9. I saw one at the four-wheel drive show in Townsville towing a caravan, and it bloody was bigger than I thought it was. Looked like a yank tank. The LDV Terran 9 or the same vehicle is an MG. MG's got the same vehicle. And Crazy Dog was eyeing it off too. He said, geez, I like the look of those things. So anyway, Roberto, we'll bloody have a look at yours when we get down there, mate, and see what you think of it. Yeah, it's there's some, I don't think that's EV, but is it? Is the LDV 9, is it a hybrid, mate? The Terran 9, or is it just a diesel? I can't remember now. Bobby Ass is on, the diddly donk from Redhead in New South Wales. Hi, Buck and others. We've been on the road for 2 months now, and I can't believe the number of caravans that are on the road. The fuel issue is definitely not stopping people travelling. Okay, well, maybe in New South Wales, Bobby, but I've definitely seen a reduction in caravans coming through North Queensland, mate. Obviously, and it's exactly like you and Dean, mate. You stuck to the New South Wales doing a shorter trip. You were going to do the big lap and put that on hold. And yeah, but I think people are traveling, as you do, people are going to travel more locally than doing the big North Queensland trips and that. And it's a long way up here, Bob. So that's why we're seeing a lot less caravans up here. Maybe around New South. Let's face it, New South Wales, everyone. There's so many beautiful places that are within, a day or two driving distance along that coast there. So, yeah, I can imagine a lot of people from New South Wales are staying local, like you Phil Taylors and that, just doing local trips. They're not doing the big trips up to North Queensland like they normally would. So I wonder how, Tyler's saying, I wonder how the hybrid diesel will go in time with the engine stopping and starting all the time. Well, that's a good question, Tyler. Hope you're well, mate, down there in Tassie. Yeah, be interested. I heard that Great Wall, GWM, the Canon Alpha, everyone, which I want to have a test drive of. The Canon Alpha are bringing out a plug-in hybrid with a 3-litre diesel, so that when your battery gets low and you are towing, you've still got a 3-litre diesel to support you, not a little bloody 1.5-litre petrol friggin' single cylinder wringing its neck. There were heaps of caravans on the highway heading north on Friday. Okay, well, there you go. I'll have to go down, but when I go into town, I just don't see a lot. The Driver Reviver at this stage is normally chock-a-block with caravans. The 3-night free overstay down at the corner of the Palmerston and the Bruce Highway. That's normally chock-a-block this time of the year. You're lucky to see 2 or 3 caravans or campers in there at the moment. So there you go. We have a weekend away next week, only 20 minutes from home. Yeah, exactly right, Paul. And a lot of people are doing the shorter trips now. And at the end of the day, you guys down there in New South Wales are so bloody lucky. You've got so many beautiful places that you can go to. I was really impressed with that New South Wales coastline. It's magnificent, everyone. I hate you as a football team, but as far as that New South Wales coastline and beautiful beaches and all that, I know she's a bit busy up north. Once you get down south of Sydney, there's some magnificent places. And I'll keep harping on about it, Jervis Bay, or I used to call it Jarvis Bay, Jervis Bay, Huskinson, Eden, Bermagui, Marimbula and Pambula. They're just magnificent places to take your caravan and spend a week or so and just relax. Just magnificent. You guys are so lucky down there. Wixie, how are you, mate? And the Wanderer's on too. The Wanderer was at the Finns game the other night with Dolphins. Let's go through the footy scores quickly. Thursday night, how bad are the Broncos going, everyone? Rabbits towed them up 48-6. South Sydney up in the 4. They're going all right this year. They haven't had as many injury problems this year, the Rabbits. Injuries decimated that team last year, but they're going all right. Latrell's out injured, but the rest of the team's going all right. How sad Thursday night. Did everyone see Jai Arrow ringing the bell when South Sydney ran out? That was hard to watch, everyone. John, if you don't know, one of the South Sydney players in the NRL has been diagnosed with motor neurones disease, mate. And he's going downhill at a great rate of knots. And it was sad to see. That was hard to watch on Thursday night, but the players rallied around him from both sides, from the Broncos and South Sydney before the game. And it was good to see. And I bloody almost shed a tear. It was sad to see. It was a hard watch, that one. Watching a bloke who's played State of Origin for Queensland, and he's only about 30 years old. Got a young kid and his wife there with him. And he's just, since we've been told the news, he's got motor neurones. He's flat out stringing 2 words together now. He's really struggling with his speech. And yeah, sad to see that. Anyway, the Rabbits got up for him on Thursday night, 48-6. And Neil Danaher, the Aussie Rules player, who was a big advocate for motor neurones disease, he passed away a couple of weeks ago and got a state funeral, deservedly so, for all the, not just so because he was a great Aussie Rules player, everyone, it's because of the work he did for motor neurones disease and the big freeze and all that type of stuff. That was good on Victoria for doing a state funeral for him. That was a good touch. Anyway, so let's get on to Friday night. Oh, it's another big score. The Dolphins and Rob the Wanderers at this game, everyone. Dolphins 48, Roosters 10. Now, everyone's going, the Roosters had 7 players out for State of Origin on Wednesday night. Yeah, but the Dolphins had 5 players out. So both teams were decimated by State of Origin duties, but the Finns were too good for them. How good's that Herbie Farnsworth in the centres, everyone? Good. This was a close game last night. Cronulla Sharks 10 got up over the New Zealand Warriors 8. The Warriors, the Wars, they couldn't do it at home. 10-8. That was a close game. And then last night, the second game, Marky Lavelle, I don't know if Mark's on this morning. His Eels got up just over the Canberra Raiders, 15-12. Raiders are going shit this year. They were minor premiers last year. Not going to make the 8 this year. Having a shit year. And today, Tigers and Titans are on. A lot of teams have got the bye because of State of Origin on Wednesday night, everyone. So they have a reduced thing. So anyway, how about the news? Sorry to all you Aussie rules players who don't follow the rugby. The main referee in the NRL, Ashley Klein, who made that bullshit call in State of Origin 1 and sent off Ponga, should have been 10 in the bin, not a send-off, and it killed – that's why they killed Queensland chances of winning that game. Anyway, Klein has been found that he's $400,000 in the hole on horse and greyhound betting, and he's a rugby league thing. Can you imagine? And people are saying now, he can't be a referee anymore. He's been compromised, everyone. But he's coming out, I only bet on the horses and the greyhounds. But if the betting agencies know you're $400,000 in the hole because you've got a gambling problem, you reckon they can get to him behind the scenes and get him to start calling some shots in some NRL games and a paper bag changes hands? He's been compromised and he needs to go. We never need to see Ashley Klein referee another game of football. Needs to go. Any referee should not be allowed, should be in their contract. You are not allowed to bet at any sporting agency. You're banned. You're not allowed to bet on anything. You can't bet on two ants running up the hill. So anyway. But he's going to referee State of Origin Wednesday night. Can you believe that shit? Anyway, did I tell you I caught a snake at 3 a.m. this morning in the house? I'm asleep. I heard crash, bang. Woke up, turned the light on. Nothing. Rafa woke up too. What was that? Looked at the door, thought, I don't know, the cat. Then I thought the cat might have knocked something over trying to get out the door, crew. About 10 minutes later, light off, just about to go back to sleep. Crash, bang. Something else went into the laundry sink. And I'm like, yeah, I know what this is. Turn the laundry light on again, had a real good look, and here it is. Brown tree snake, which are mildly venomous. The night tiger, they're called. They're nocturnal. In the laundry, knocking shit over in the laundry tubs, up on the fly screen, going down into the bottom thing, about 5 meters from where me and Rafa were sleeping, everyone. So out to the shed, and people go, oh, you just pick them up, they're friendly. Bullshit. Soon as I walk past it to go out to the shed to get my snake catcher, it let go of the gauze and just essed up at me. Like an Eastern Brown, they make that S like they're going to strike. It just essed up at me as soon as I walked behind. Didn't go anywhere near it. Walked around behind it, and it just straight up into a striking pose. So I went out, got my snake catcher, caught him. By this time, he dropped down into the laundry sink. I got my snake catcher and put him in a big green plastic bin from the shed. And this morning, before I went live, I went out and threw him over in the back paddock there in Tony and Chris's yard. I threw him over there's a big drop off down into nothing. I threw him down over there. So he'll probably be back tonight. How he got in, I do not know. I don't know. So anyway, the fact I need to, John, like I've caught a lot of snakes because what it used to happen, mate, you get a snake in the shed and you go, whether it was one of these brown tree snakes or what else have I had in there? A water python, and I've had some big scrub pythons, and I mean big, 4 meteries, that they're big enough to eat the cat and the dog. I've had some big pythons in there as well. So I bought a snake catcher off eBay, and I've used that a lot of times now over the years. I've used it a lot of times. Touch wood, I haven't had an Eastern Brown or a Taipan or a Death Adder in my house. They're up around here as well, but I have not. Yeah. Tell me about a bloody 410 or a 12 gauge is a good snake catcher. Trouble is, imagine I let a 12 gauge with birdshot go down in the laundry, John. There'd be bloody glass and fly screen and bits of metal. I mean, my laundry sinks would be peppered with holes. I'd have to go and buy a new laundry sink. I'll go, Roz, I got him. But we're up for about $2,000 in windows and fly screen and 2 new laundry sinks. Aluminium laundry sinks because they're peppered with holes. But anyway, I got him with a snake catcher, mate. And I've got to work out where the little prick got in. Wasn't the biggest brown tree snake I've seen, but he was big enough. He was long, but he was only skinny. He was only a juvenile. But, you know, I always, and it's in the back of my mind, I'm always worried about one night I'm going to be lying in bed and one of them things is going to slip. It's not the first one we've had in the house, everyone. We had a big one in here one night. My daughter was over visiting when she was a kid and was sitting on the lounge, and my son Phil goes over his shoulder. He sat in the lounge chair and he goes, "Where'd you get this from?" It was like a 6 foot big, thick skin. So we had, it was a Dolza, one brown tree snake again. You can tell by its googly eyes on the skin. And I said, "No, I don't know. We've got a snake in the house, obviously." And Lauren jumped up on the lounge, got her feet off the ground, and I had to search every cupboard, every nook and cranny in the house, or Lauren wasn't coming off that lounge. So we had a big brown tree snake in the house. We've had a couple in here, actually. I had a slaty grey when we had a bathtub. I went in to have a shower one night. There's a slaty grey snake in the bathtub. So I thought, how'd you get in here? So we've had a few snakes in the house, everyone, and I've had bloody shitloads in the shed. Touch wood, we haven't had a taipan in there yet, but give it one day, it'll be a taipan. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have my wits about me catching a taipan, because those things are fast. And the third most venomous snake in the world, in the coastal taipan, and I've got a decent set of fangs on them too. They're, out of all our venomous snakes, the coastal taipan's got the longest fangs, everyone. Nothing like a rattlesnake or anything, but yeah, got decent sized fangs and a large venom yield, and they're the third most venomous. So don't want to get tagged by one of them. Yeah, so I'll sleep them with one eye open. Wanderer, we do get red belly blacks up here, mate. I've seen them up in Cape York, and I've seen a red belly black at Paradise Camps. I saw a big black snake go through the bush there one day. So yes, we do get red belly blacks, mate, but I haven't seen one in this yard. I've never seen a highly venomous snake in my yard, i.e. a taipan or eastern brown. I haven't seen one, doesn't mean they haven't been here. Most of mine are pythons or the brown tree snakes, the doll's eyes, mate, the night tigers. No to catching taipans. Yeah, I think I'd have to probably call a proper snake catcher in for that. The taipans are too friggin'. They are, yeah. And Billy Collett, who is the Venom Diaries guy, who's been milking snakes for 20-something years, everyone. He said, out of all the snakes I milk, he said the coastal taipans are the ones that scare me the most. He said they are just super fast and super aggressive when they get angry. Mind you, we nearly got tagged on the nose by an eastern brown. I don't know if you saw that one, and it was a massive eastern brown. Normally our elapids can't, unlike the black mamba and that in Africa, usually our snakes can't get up their whole body, but this bloke did. Bill was holding him out. It reared up, and it bloody, I reckon she was 4 inches from getting him on the nose, an eastern brown, which are the second most venomous in the world. So he would have been Gonski if it got him on the nose. You know, bloody bandaging that one up. When I was teaching at South Johnston State School, there was a taipan wrapped around the staff toilet bowl. Yeah, that'll do me. Yeah, bloody hell. Unbelievable. My granddad, he used to live outside Texas, at a little place called Lineville, on a property there. Pop had a 12-gauge shotgun hanging up outside the back door and live shells. And I was always told, do not touch that gun. When I was a young fella, do not touch that gun. So no, Pop, I used to go out and look at the shells and that. But Pop had a 12-gauge, and they used to get a lot of tiger snakes down on that property and eastern browns. Pop would go, Mum said Pop would be out there every day, and you'd hear boom, just blowing a snake away, which is how it should be. Back in the good old days, when if something can kill you, you killed it back. And speaking of killing, how many more shark attacks do we need in this country? We had 2 great white fatalities in Western Australia in the last month. 2 great white fatalities. We had one off Rottnest Island off Perth, one at Albany. Then we had a spear diver taken by a bull shark off not off the Barrier Reef, off Innisfail here a couple of weeks ago, off Tully Heads. And then Coogee Beach yesterday, a great white came in and this girl was swimming. It looked like it was no more than 50 metres off the beach, and a great white got her on the leg and both arms, and she's struggling to save her life at the moment. And well done to that young surf life-saving lad that paddled out on the paddle board and got her on the front of his paddle board and then paddled backwards. He's keeping an eye out for the shark. So this is the middle of Sydney, John. One of the main Coogie's, one of the main beaches in Sydney, and a girl got mauled by a great white there yesterday. Guess what they did recently? Took the shark nets down because of the greenies, because the bloody whales get caught up. Bring the shark nets in closer, everyone. You don't need to have the shark nets a kilometre out to sea. Just at Coogee Beach or Bondi, just put a big ring of, like, maybe out 150 metres. You don't need to, if you want to swim more than 150 metres off the beach, well, good luck to you. If you get hit by a shark, that's your own fault. But put a big net ring on Coogee and, the main beach where people can safely go in and have a swim in the ocean. Let's face it, we all like to have a swim at the ocean when we go there. You should be able to swim there without fear of getting nailed by something. We put stinger nets up here in Queensland during summertime because of the marine stingers, that box jellyfish that can kill you, and the irukandjis. So we put a stinger net up and everyone swims in the stinger net. They're fairly large. Doesn't stop crocodiles getting in there, but probably wouldn't. But I'm surely we can get a decent sized shark net closer into the beach that doesn't interfere with the whales when they're migrating down. The whales don't come right in near the beach. They're bloody kilometres out. Get the shark nets a lot closer into the beach and at least gives the people somewhere they can go where they can swim without the fear of getting hit by a bloody great white or a bull shark. Anyway, how'd I go down that rabbit hole? Who started that shit? Righto. I went from football scores and next thing I'm talking about snakes and sharks. Haven't even started on camping yet. So, did anyone see my cook up in the travel, not the travel buddy, the King's travel buddy? I tried to do the Smoky Joe's, didn't get hot enough to crisp the pastry up, everyone. And I had a bloody inverter on there to go from 12 to 13.8 volts. Maybe if it's in a vehicle with the alternator running, it might get hotter. But I could not, once I put the Smoky Joe's in, I could not get that oven back to 200 degrees. The red light stayed on, everyone, which means it couldn't get down. When there was nothing in it, I put it up to 200 Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit. Took about half an hour to get there, and it went ding, the red light went out. I thought, she's on 200. I threw them in, and as soon as I threw them in, the red light came back on because the heat lowered, and it could not get back to 200. And that was even with a voltage booster. So, yeah, are the days of the 12-volt oven gone, everyone? Who's got a 12-volt oven? Let's do a poll. And we're going down the old 12. We're going to ask you in a minute. I wish I knew how to do a Q&A. I don't know. I can only do a poll. Ask a question. Do you still rate the... I'm going to call it Travel Buddy because that's the original one, the Aussie one that we all know. Have you got one? Do you rate them? Is there still a place for the Travel Buddy now that all this Gucci gear's out? Now that everyone's got inverters and running 240-volt appliance. Let's face it, a lot of people are running more 240-volt stuff in their camp setups now, aren't they? We seem to be... The old days are going 12-volt. A lot of people are switching to 240, everyone, because of the... Now we can do it because we've got, with the old AGM batteries, we didn't have enough power, really, did we, in our batteries to run big inverters. Now that lithium's on the scene and it's affordable, depending on which brand you buy, a lot of people got the big lithium setups now, which means... big inverter, 2,000 or 3,000 watt inverters. They're running induction. Let's face it, a lot of people running induction now. I'm not a big fan of induction, personally. I don't know. I'm not sold on induction. I know it's convenient if you've got the battery power. Absolutely. I just find it's bloody, I don't know, pulses and I don't know. Just I find it. You got to watch your power. It just gets too hot sometimes. Anyway, we've got the batteries now. The old Travel Buddy. I think that might be all right in Australia. You see Timmy Bates, he gets to his destination in the high country, he pulls a pie out of the Travel Buddy. I think that's about all they're good for now, everyone, is warming a pie up. Okay, because it takes so bloody long to cook anything in them. If you're on a big long trip, I know they've still got their place, don't get me wrong. Steve said he likes getting those. You get one of those pre-cooked briskets in a oven bag that you can buy from Coles and Woolies. You put one of those briskets in, you go for a 6 or 8 hour drive to your destination when you're on a big long trip. You get there to the caravan park or your camping spot at night, and you've got to pull some bread rolls out. You've got a cooked beef brisket in the Travel Buddy ready to go for dinner, so you don't have to worry about cooking. There is a place for them, everyone, but gee whiz, it's would I run out now and buy a 12-volt oven? No, I wouldn't. I don't even have mine mounted in the BT50. Got nowhere to mount it, really. I'd probably mount it in the BT if I could find a spot to put it. And, for pies and warming stuff up, I guess, if you got leftover food and you wrap it in alfoil and put it in the Travel Buddy and in the morning and you get somewhere at lunch. Pete from WA Camping does it quite often. He'll have something like a burrito or something wrapped in foil, and he puts them cold into the Travel Buddy. So when they get to their lunch break, he opens his Travel Buddy up and he's got like nice warm burritos. There is still a place for them. Goldie and Robbo, g'day mate, how are you? Bloody Robbo did a solo camp. Everyone, get on to Goldie and Robbo's channel. Robbo, that was good, mate. Nice, simple camp setup, mate. Sleeping on a stretcher, 270 awning, cooking a bloody little lamb roast up over the fire. That was a good thing. Not a word was said. It was one of those ones where, mate, I tried to do one of those once, one of those clips where I didn't say anything and everyone was up me. Everyone got up me and said, don't ever do one of those clips again, Buck, where you don't talk. So I get in trouble if I talk too much, and I get in trouble if I don't talk. But that was good, mate. I enjoy it. I watched it last night. Get on there, Goldie and Robbo, everyone. I'm tipping, Robbo, where were you, mate? Were you up around inland? What's that? You go inland from Gordonvale there, along that. I forget the name of it now. But anyway, Craig Hepburn, g'day from New Zealand. Like your last camping trip. Good cooking tips. Yeah, thanks, Craig. And there's three more episodes coming out of that, mate. 3 more episodes coming out of that last trip I did up the Woodley Station. Robbo, that bloody Woodley Station, mate, I rate that place, eh? I really rate it. I do. The Nomadic Yowie, Chrissy, he's back. Chrissy Anderson's back to his original name, everyone. The Nomadic Yowie. I drive a Ford Ranger. John, it would be overcooked and covered in oil. I drive a Ford Ranger. He's talking about his Travel Buddy. When I get there, it'd be overcooked and covered in oil. Oh, dear, Chris. Oh, wow. South of Townsville. I thought you were up inland of the Goldsboro Valley way, mate, up inland from Gordonvale there. No, it was Majors Creek, south of Townsville. Oh, well, there you go, mate. I was wrong. I thought you were up on the bloody. I just said it and I forgot it already. You turn Goldsboro Valley way. There's some camping spots in there. Oh, that's where I thought you were, mate. But anyway, it was a good one. Yeah, John laughing at Chrissy's thing. Pull your pie out and she's got bloody sump oil over her from the Ranger. Oh, that's a problem. Anyway. Would you own a thing? Let's end that poll. I probably asked the wrong question there. Do you still rate the Travel Buddy? 71% have said no. I'll end the poll there. I hate saying this, everyone, because the owner of Travel Buddy gave me 3 of them a while ago before the Harvey Bay event, everyone. And I forgot about this. The Rowies, who I caught up with yesterday down at Cowley Beach, they said, Buck, we won one of your travel buddies at the Harvey Bay camping event. Travel buddy donated 3. They said, Buck, we want you to have one, which my son's got now. Phil has got the travel buddy, the Aussie made one, and 2 were prizes. The Rowies won one of them. So I think if you've got a good canopy setup and you can mount the travel buddy, I think there's still, if you're doing a long trip, I think there's still a place for, if you want to throw a few pies in for lunch, or you want to throw one of those slow cooked meals that you can get in an oven bag, put that in the tray. And so you've got, like, I think there's still a place for them, but I think there's just so much more stuff on the market now that I think the 12-volt ovens are going to struggle. And what gets you is that they don't get hot enough, everyone. That one the other night, even with a voltage booster on it, it could not crisp up. It cooked the inside. It heated up the Savoy and melted the cheese in that inside the puff pastry, but it didn't make the puff pastry puff up and go golden brown. It wasn't hot enough. It couldn't get back up to 200 Celsius. So I had to pull them out, put them in the little air fryer for 5 minutes, pull them out, and the pastry was puffed up, beautiful and golden, and I rescued them with the air fryer. And that's where a lot of you people are going now. You've got 240 volt with a decent inverter in your camping setup, or you've got a 12-volt air fryer. I just think the 12-volt air fryers are a game changer now, everyone. Yeah, they might pull a lot of amps, but only for a short period of time. The travel buddies pull about 10 amps, everyone. But when you've got to cook something over 3 or 4 hours, there's 40 amps. You're not going to use 40 amps in an air fryer. The air fryer might pull 40 or 50 amps. Let's say it pulls 40 amps because they're through an Anderson plug, which is 50 amps. Say the air fryer pulls 40 amps. It's only on for 15 minutes, everyone. It's only on for 15 minutes. So what are you pulling? You're pulling 10 amps over 15 minutes. So high draw, but for a short period of time. I tell you what I didn't rate, and it pulled a lot of power, are those 12-volt Jaffle makers that I got one off Kick-Ass. It cracked the first time I went to put a sandwich in it. It cracked, and the current draw, the power draw on those 12-volt Jaffle sandwich makers was bullshit. I don't rate them. That's in me thumbs down things. Those 12-volt Jaffle makers, I don't rate them, everyone. Not at all. I do not rate them. Too much power draw on them. And it bloody cracked because my sandwich was too thick. Speaking of cooking, we've got a coconut curry in the slow cooker as we speak. Tyler, you beauty, mate. Good stuff. How good's the old coconut curry chicken? That's a great winter food. That's a great winter food. Hope you use Keen's curry in there, the original Keen's curry powder, mate. That's, Roz said, you've got to use Keen's curry powder in a coconut curry chicken. Roz went to a Torres Strait Island thing last night, family thing, everyone. And Roz went there and said, I said, do you want me to cook your dinner? And she said, no, there'll be finger foods and that there tonight. So she come home full as a ball. She goes, you should have seen what was there. Coconut curry chicken and typical Torres Strait Island thing, just food everywhere. You can guarantee there'll be vermicelli chicken and coconut curry chicken. And sometimes turtle and dugong makes an appearance as well. Anyway, Leaky Reed, g'day, mate. Hope you're well. Joshy Hatch down there in South Aussie. We got a couple of crow eaters on this morning. Beaker, Pete Donlan's on, and Joshy Hatch down there in South Aussie. How's the weather down in South Aussie? I haven't done the weather. I can't be bothered doing the weather. It is, there's some blue sky here again today. Anyway, so I think we can, I don't know. I think there's still a place for the 12-volt oven. Certainly if I had a canopy, side opening canopy on setup, which I'd love. If I won the lotto, I'd probably get I don't know what vehicle I'd get. Let's say a Super Duty, everyone. Go a Super Duty. I know it should have a different engine in it, but I'd get a Super Duty, nice bloody Norwell canopy on the back. That's if I won the lotto, and deck it out with an upright fridge and bloody all the gear, and have a travel buddy mounted up there? Absolutely. Have a heap of lithium in there, solar panels on the top, have a really good setup. The canopies provide a lot of good storage area for your camp chairs and stuff like that. I'd still put a travel buddy in if I had a canopy setup. I still think there's a place for them, especially if you've got a couple of frozen pies and you go, I've got a 4-hour trip. Say we're traveling down to the big trip down to the Barracrab. Want to get there late afternoon and we don't want to cook when we get there. Throw one of those slow cooked meals in the travel buddy and you got dinner when you get to the other end. I still think there's a spot for them. Wixie, love the canopy and rooftop tent setup. Yeah. Yep. And I was talking to someone the other day, John. I was talking to John and we did when John rings me from Oregon, everyone, via whatever thing we use here, we have a good chat, usually for about an hour or so. And John was talking about what he likes about the casita, everyone, is you go to a campsite, you set your van up or your camper, and he's got the forerunner there when they're in Yellowstone National Park. They set the casita up, they set up their camp, which is their little 15, 17-foot caravan. They set their trailer up, leave it set up, and then they drove into Yellowstone in their Toyota 4Runner and they go exploring for the day. That's the only problem with rooftop tents, Wixie, is when you want to go into town or go exploring, you've got to pack your bloody campsite up. I know it doesn't take a long time, but it's a pain in the ass, especially if you've got your 270 awning out, and then your rooftop tent, you want to drop into town for 10 minutes to grab something, you've got to pack your campsite up. I'm a fan of having, even if it's a tent, an Oz tent and some tables and blah, 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 have your campsite set up, and I like having the BT50 separated from my campsite so I can go driving around and exploring, because when I'm sitting around camp during the day, I do like to go for a drive and explore that local area. If there's little towns that I haven't been to, go for a drive around the towns, go collecting firewood, things like that. Chop some firewood, throw it on the roof rack, tie it down, bring it back to the campfire, which I couldn't do at Woodley, everyone. There's no bloody firewood left up there. But anyway, so I know rooftop tents have got their place. It's like everything has got pros and cons, hasn't it? When it comes to camping, everything has got a pro and a con. Like there'd never be a perfect camp setup for everyone. Caravans, yeah, they're comfortable, but towing them, the fuel consumption, the stuffing around, me getting the caravan down the side of the house with the mover, so I don't take out the air conditioners on the side of the house and that. Just getting the caravan out, it's a pain in the ass. And then towing it and watching your fuel gauge go down twice as quick as it normally does. And then reversing it in and putting the stabilizer legs down. Once it's set up, it's fantastic. It's good, but even caravans, they've got a lot of cons. Swags, that bloody swag of mine, the Big Daddy Air, which I rate, everyone, that's a good swag. 30 pumps and she's up. That they shit all over the traditional Big Daddy swags, they really do. Bulky, they're not overly heavy, they're just bulky. You've seen the size of them. Like they take up half your roof rack. It took up half my garden trailer. So those big double swags are bulky, everyone. Timmy Bates, that swag he sleeps in. The con of that, I'm claustrophobic. I said to Tim, I don't know how you sleep in that thing, mate, but I like sleeping in a shoebox. Tim goes, I've been sleeping in it for 20 years, mate. Not much room to move in there. Like, I couldn't sleep in Tim. I certainly wouldn't sleep in there with Timmy, but a swag that size, I couldn't do it. I get claustrophobic. I've got to have one side of the Big Daddy up, everyone. I just can't have the sides down. I get claustrophobic in them. I'm not a big swag fan, but if I have one side of the swag up and I can see out and I can, there's plenty of air coming in, I'm okay in the Big Daddy with me and Raph. But me and Ross slept in there one night. It was raining in a Big Daddy swag, and we had to have the sides down. I had to unzip that and have my nose poking out. And Ross goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I can't sleep in this swag with the sides down. I'm claustrophobic." Yeah. I would. John saying I'd pay to see Buck and Timmy Bates in a swag together. I tell you what, they'd have to give us a bloody lot of money. We could then join Bradley Howell on Grindr, everyone. Me and Tim, Buck and Tim and Brad on Grindr. How about that one? Dear, oh dear. You won't see me in a swag. Here's a story. When I was in the army once, we're in the Northern Territory on an exercise once. I forget where we were, and the mosquitoes were horrendous, everyone. They were horrendous. And we were just sleeping on the ground. We were no tents and all that shit, no swags back then. We're just sleeping on the ground, and the mosquitoes were off tap. I strung my army mozzie net, mosquito net, over me, and one of my diggers, he forgot he left his mozzie net at home, and he was getting eaten alive, absolutely eaten alive. And I did the Aussies corporal, and I said, "Get in here with me." Lodgy, his name was. I think it was Lodgy. I said, "Get in here," and we spooned under a mosquito net. Now, don't judge me, everyone. Don't judge me on that. That's the type of boss I was. One of me diggers, I should have said, "Serves you right for leaving your mosquito net behind." Put up, but they were bad, everyone. It was the worst I've ever seen mosquitoes in my life. They were horrendous. They were horrendous. And on the second, I think we were there one night, and then the OC come out and said, "Pack up, we are moving locations." So even the OC, the major, he couldn't deal with them. He said, "Boys, we're out here. We're going to go and find another location to set up the squadron, where otherwise I've never seen mosquitoes that bad." Anyway, Lodgy, "Oh, Buck, I left me mozzie." I felt sorry for him. So I get in here, Lodgy, we'll spoon under. They're only a little single mozzie net, so we had to spoon under a single mosquito net. That's about the gayest I've ever been, everyone. I spooned Lodgy under a mosquito net. This was back in the 80s when it was, yeah. I use lube. Oh, like, dear, oh dear. I said, "Lodgy, what was that movie, guys? Big Mama? Big Mama, have you got a flashlight in your pocket?" Oh, that was a funny movie. What was that one? With Martin Lawrence. Big Mama, Big Mama was the name of the movie. Is that a flashlight in your pocket? Oh, that he pulls the mag light, the big flashlight out. "Yeah, here it is." And then she goes, "Big Mama, have you got another flashlight?" He was spooning his so-called niece, and she was a hottie. Martin Lawrence dressed up as Big Mama. That was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. That he's bloody funny, Martin Lawrence. Anyone seen that movie? That's worth a watch. Anyway, Brad and John. Brad, are you supposed to be the moderator? Yeah, that's where Brad said, "Can you donk the host on the thing?" Anyway, we're talking about mosquitoes. How do I go down a mosquito rabbit hole, everyone? Anyway, there's a funny story for you for the day. I spooned a bloke under a mosquito net when I was in the army. They were going to transfer me out to the Navy after that. They said, "Buck, that's not on in the army. We're going to transfer you over to the Royal Australian Navy and put you on a bloody warship where that is tolerated." It's not only tolerated, it's compulsory in the Navy to spoon your mate, but in the army, it's not on. All the Marines. John, did you get issued mosquito nets in the Marines, mate? Did you get issued mosquito nets? I've still got my army mosquito net. Next live feed, I'll show you, everyone. It might have been the actual mosquito net that has been spooned under. It's had a spooning event happen underneath it. I'm sure I've still got my old army mosquito net down there. And I'll tell you what, I used to camp. I had an old US, John, I got 2 US Army stretchers. And the thing I liked about, and I gave them away, I'm spewing now, the US Army stretchers, or the Marine stretchers as well, they were a lot higher than the Aussie ones. And they had a hole at each end. And you could put a little piece of dowel wood, and I got 4 pieces of dowel, put them down there at a certain height, and then the mosquito net sat perfectly on top of the bits of wood and draped down over the stretcher. So you're free from mosquitoes. I've got to get my hands back on one of those US Army stretchers, and because they've actually got the holes there, we can put 4 little bits of wood, dowel wood, and hang your mosquito net up. Absolutely fantastic. The civilian stretchers that I've got don't have the holes there where you can put a mosquito net up, everyone. Mosquitoes are the most deadly animal in the world. Yeah, they kill more people in the world than any other animal. Did you know that? From malaria, everyone. Mosquitoes. Our Aussies don't have malaria here in Australia, thank goodness. But Papua New Guinea, East Timor, when we're East Timor, we're on doxycycline the whole time, everyone. Popping doxycycline every morning because of malaria. You had to have it. When I was posted to Papua New Guinea, we were supposed to take doxycycline for the whole year or 2 years that I was supposed to be up there. I went, I'm not jamming this shit in my body for 2 years. I just ran the gauntlet, everyone, as most of us did. Most of our defence advisors up in New Guinea, and I wasn't just in Port Moresby, I was travelling up to some remote places and doing weapons inspections and all that on outposts. And I wasn't malaria protected up in New Guinea. We used SP Lager was our malaria protection, South Pacific Lager, and it worked because I didn't get bloody thing. Rodney Rood in the Navy. How funny was Rodney Rood, everyone? So where are we going? Caravans, yeah. Wednesday, Roz and I are going up to Cairns, everyone, and we're dropping the caravan into Jayco. It hasn't had the bearings checked since I first got it. Kenny Hop checked the bearings and greased the bearings and everything for me. That was when we first got it. It hasn't been checked since. So on Wednesday, I rang Jayco up in Cairns and I said, how much for a service? $500. And that's to check, because I got 4 wheels. So pull the wheels off, check the bearings, re-grease the bearings. If the bearings are rooted, that will be extra cost. But a lot of the times they can inspect the bearings. If they're still in good condition, they just re-grease them. Check the brakes, check the breakaway, and a few other things for $500. And they said, mate, for $750, we do a full check. We check that all your electrics. We check your fridge is working. We check your air conditioner. We check your gas. We check underneath. We check your water pumps and all that. And I said, do it. Just do a full $750 check on the van. So it's going to hit me in the pocket on bloody Wednesday morning, but we're getting a full check over the van, $750. And that's why Brad said, caravan sits most of the year in the bloody shed. And, you know, it's rego, insurance. I haven't got mine. The insurance on my van was bullshit. And I thought, you know what, for something I just use a few times a year, I'm going to run the gauntlet. Our caravan is not insured, everyone. I know it should be, but I can't afford it. I've got to bloody call things. I can't afford $200 or nearly $300 a month for something that sits in the shed. So I'm running the gauntlet on that. The cost of servicing, the cost of registration, the cost of insurance. Brad said the insurance on his own RV was bullshit, and that's why they're offloading it. And I think you'll find a lot of vans are probably for sale now because of the cost of fuel. Especially how many vans went on the market when fuel was $3 a litre? How many people just went, bullshit, selling me van? Yeah, there's probably a lot out there. Greggy Campbell, our van is in for its first service before heading to the Barra Crab. Good stuff. Greg, I hope they're looking after you, mate. One would think that service will be on the house for you, seeing as you bloody do a lot of good work for them. So we're doing the same thing. I don't want a wheel flying off because of a hot wheel bearing, and I know I should know how to do it, everyone. I don't know how to do my own bearings, and I don't trust myself. I'm a shit mechanic. I'm a shit handyman. Went into my mechanic a while ago. He says, mate, you got a diesel leak. And he goes, it's coming from your fuel filters. He goes, who did your last service? And I went, me. I didn't hook the fuel filter up properly and it was leaking. So I've gone back to my mechanic and he's probably thinking, serves you right, dickhead, for trying to skimp, not using me to do a proper job, trying to do it yourself, and now you're coming to me with your problems. Trying to save a bit of money. I don't have faith in, I know John does a lot of that stuff on his casita himself, a lot better handyman than what I am. John says, do it yourself, but I don't have the skill set, John. I'm useless at that, mate. I know some real basic. Yeah, I know, Logan. It's $750 to service a caravan. It hasn't even got an engine. They don't even need to change any oil, mate. They can get under it. They can get to everything nice and easy, and it's still $750. Yeah, they plug the. I can do that too. Unplug the aircon in, mate. Anyway, I just said do the full thing. They're going to check the water, the gas, and all that stuff. Make sure everything's working properly. Just good peace of mind. I don't think I'll get the 750 done every year, but yeah, depending on how much you use the van. How often should you get your bearings done? I know once a year, but when it's $500, I've got to try and Kenny, I used to use Kenny Hop. Kenny's retired now. Kenny used to do it for a bit of a cashy, probably a couple $100 that it cost me for Ken to do me van. But Kenny's overseas on holidays now. He's retired, so now I've got to use the. I must admit, but Jayco up in Cairns are very good, and they do a good job. They do a good job. So I'm going to use them. 750. Keep watching me videos, everyone. I need the revenue from YouTube to pay for my caravan service. But anyway, I want to make sure I get to the Barra Crab. I don't lose a wheel or whatever, or bloody me breakaway doesn't work and whatever. It's just good peace of mind to know that the van's been serviced. Everything's working. Go down and bloody we'll stop over at a few places on the way down, and then on the way home I said to Ros, we're not just driving home. I want to go to a few different places on the way home too that we haven't been before, and make a bit of a holiday of it. Maybe we'll be away for a couple of weeks. So we'll have Rafa with us. Looking forward to seeing everyone at the Barra Crab. That's going to be fantastic. Now, the other thing I want to talk about. Someone asked me the other day. I was at Woodley Station and $35 a night to camp at Woodley, and he said, "Mate, why don't you just camp in state forests? Why don't you just free camp?" And I got thinking about that. I thought, where can you free camp around where I live? And everything's either private property, a wiki camp, or a hip camp where you got to pay. The place where you can free camp are friggin' driver revivers in place. You can't crank fires up and do film clips when you're in a bloody driver reviver. Or up at Babinda, there's a free camping beside Babinda, beautiful bloody little spot, but it's not the type of place where you go camping to make YouTube film clips or to get away from people. And I thought, where do you camp for free around here? You go to national park. We got some nice little national park rainforest camp spots. One up the Palmerston Highway here, about 20 minutes away. National park, everyone. Can't have dogs. Can't have Rafa with me. So they're out of you can't go there. And everywhere else, you got to pay for it. So we don't do you find the same thing, everyone? Do you find that it's really hard now to find somewhere besides a bloody driver reviver, one of those places, somewhere where you can go and free camp? When you see Cam and Tiffs, they'd be in the middle of nowhere in the Western Australia on a dirt road, and they'd pull off a dirt road in the middle of nowhere and camp in the middle of nowhere. There's not many places like that up in North Queensland where you can do that. Graham Whitaker saying, same here, Buck. Most expensive tool in my toolbox came to me if you want to, it turned into a grenade. Oh, I see you, Graham. Yeah. You're like me, Graham. You're not a good handyman, mate, a mechanic. I wish I knew a lot more about mechanics, and I was just in things in the army and cop and correction. I just was never in a job where I needed to use all that. Like if something broke in the army, we send it to the Ramey boys and they'd fix it for us. We didn't learn our own skills as far as mechanical work goes. Could change the oil on a Land Rover. That was about it. That's about my expertise. I can do my own oil change. When it gets too technical, I've got to get the thing. Rob, New South Wales is way better than Queensland for free camping. Mate, I found New South Wales when I was on the coast, maybe inland, mate, maybe inland. I found New South Wales on the coast, like everywhere, you had to pay for it there along the coast, maybe inland. I know if you go out inland Queensland, you're going to find a lot more. I'm just talking about my area here in North Queensland on the coast. There isn't a lot of places you can go and free camp everyone. You'll find a lot of them, a lot of the remote, they're in national park and you have to book. It's probably only $7.50 a night, but you're still in a national park. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Graham. Yeah, and I've seen Steve and Annie were camping. A lot of free camping areas along the Murray River. And Steve and Annie were there, and you see Timmy Bates has done some stuff on the Murray River. Those campsites along the Murray are spectacular, mate. Like beautiful, good bush camping. So, yeah, I know, Brad. I'd love to, mate. If I said to Ros after you serviced the BT50, I said, geez, I'd love it. If I lived in Newcastle, I'd be bloody watching Brad Howell and just learning off him. And that's what I'd love to do, Brad, is learn from you. But you're too far away to teach me, mate. I'd love you to teach me how to do my own. I've watched Kenny Hop do it. Kenny showed me heaps of times how to do it, but I'm still not confident doing it myself. I don't want a wheel coming off doing 100K down the Bruce Highway and rolling me caravan. I just don't trust myself. I don't trust my skills. I know my skill sets, and I'd rather pay money and get it done professionally. I don't mind looking after dogs if anyone is up that way wanting to go out to the islands. Jennifer, yeah. No, that's all right. Jennifer said if you've got dogs at the Barra Crab, Jennifer's happy to babysit the dogs if you want to go out. I don't know. Can you do island trips out off Barra Crab, Jennifer? I'm not sure. I know there's some islands out there. I don't know if there's any boats that go out there to the islands. We should get Crazy Dog to bring his boat up and go out there. So, yeah, if there's the offer, everyone. If anyone wants to go for a drive up into my God, my memory, everyone. I'm going to talk about my health in a minute, everyone. I've got some concerning things going on besides Alzheimer's, which I've currently having an episode of. Serena. When you want to go up from the Barra Crab, it's about 90K up to Serena. Go to Serena Bakery, have a beef brisket pie, and you won't want to eat for 2 days. They are huge. They weigh about 3.5 kilos. Anyway, so if you want to go for a drive into Serena or go exploring, you want to leave the dog behind, Jennifer and Robbie said they'd babysit your dog for you and take it for a walk along the beach and all that at the Barra Crab, everyone, which is good. Yeah, Logan, the Murray River is getting trashed by wankers, but hopefully it doesn't get ruined. Yeah, how often do we hear that story, mate? Like what sort of grubs go camping along the beautiful Murray River at those pristine camp spots and leave their rubbish behind? It happens all the time. Shitty nappies. You go, oh, there's the fire pit there. And then you're like, oh, there's people throwing bloody their stubbies and aluminium cans in there thinking they'll miraculously disappear in the fire. And shitty nappies that they can't be bothered carrying out. How many times do you see shitty disposable nappies or diapers, as John calls them, in a campfire? Oh, we'll just throw them in the campfire and drive off. Those nappies will just burn. And you get there and you go, you got to pull shitty nappies out of the campfire and then cook over it. Like, come on, friggin' grubs. No, Chrissy Anderson saying, I want to drive up to it's Midge Point, mate. Yeah, Midge Point, and just check it out. Is that possible while at the Barra Crab? I can't. I'd have to Google, mate, how far Midge, it's Midge. I'm wondering why they call it Midge Point. Is it because there's lots of midgies there, which are like little sand flies? Crazy's been to Midge Point. He loves it. He said it's a great spot, Midge Point. Don't know how far it is from Barra Crab. I can't remember off the top of my head, mate. Just Google it. It's certainly worth checking out for a future thing. I don't think there's any facilities there. It's a bit of a drive to get in there, especially if it's wet. But once you get in there, Crazy said it's a bloody nice spot. I always drive past the Midge Point turnoff and go, must go out there one day. I think it might be National Park. Don't quote me on that. Oh, okay. So, Jennifer. Jennifer meant if you're ever in the Whitsundays, everyone, or Airlie Beach, and you want your dog looked after, Jennifer's in Bowen, everyone. Sorry, Jennifer. I thought you meant the Barra Crab, mate. So, yeah, Graham, and throw their shitty nappies everywhere. Exactly what I was saying, mate. I've seen that heaps of times. You get to a camp spot and the shitty nappies that haven't burnt in the campfire that you want to cook, put your Aussie campfire kitchen up and cook over it, and there's a dirty, shitty nappy in there. I won't be cooking over that one. And then what do? You go and start another fire somewhere. So then you're making more fires everywhere. You should just have one fire ring, but then shitty nappies in that one, I'll go and make another fire ring. And then it snowballs. It's disgusting, but you see it all the time, Jennifer. People throwing their rubbish in the campfire, stubbies, cans of beer. The cans of beer might melt 3/4, but it's still aluminium, melted aluminium in the campfire. It's just pigs. Keep our campsites tidy, everyone, or they're going to bloody close them down on us, especially along the Murray. We don't want that being closed down. There's some of the most pristine camp spots in Australia along the Murray River. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, Midge Point's near Proserpine. There you go, Jennifer. I knew Midge Point's up that way. Yeah, probably a bit far, Chrissy. Midge Point from the Barra Crab. Yeah. Marky Lavelle's on. G'day, Mark. Good win to the Eels last night, mate. They bloody thought Canberra was going to mow them down, mate, but they held on. 15-12. Not sure how long you've been on, mate. But anyway, we get a lot of broken glass and aluminum cans in our fire pits. Can't say I've ever found a diaper. That seems to be an Australian thing, mate. People go out with their kids, which is fine, and throw the shitty diaper, shitty nappy. We call them nappies here. Shitty diaper in the fire. And then you get there and go, there's a big turd sitting in that nappy, and I've got to cook over it. Like, ugh. Anyway, it's disgusting. I know. Has anyone else, I won't do a poll on that. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I've seen it all the time. You go and see a campfire, there's a shitty nappy sitting in there. Got out in New South Wales one day. It was a national park. Rafa had to stay it was a lighthouse from memory. Roz said, I'll stay in the car with Rafa. You go for a walk up to the lighthouse, get your video footage and come back. And we seem to do a lot of that. Poor old Roz stuck in the car with Rafa at national parks, and I'd have to run off, rush everything just to get a photo on that to do the YouTube clips. And Roz would be stuck in the car with Rafa. Anyway, I got out at a national park one day. I forget where it was. Somewhere in New South Wales, a lighthouse. Got out, and there were McDonald's bags and wrappers and Big Mac wrappers and shit everywhere, cans of Coke just strewn over the ground. And you look up and there's signs, no domestic pets allowed in this national park. And I'm thinking, yeah, Rafa's not the one throwing Macca's wrappers and McDonald's bloody shit and Coke cans all over the place. Our dogs aren't the ones doing all that shit. But you let all these grubs in that do that to the national parks, and yet you can't take your dog on a lead up to have a look at a lookout. So it's bullshit. Anyway, what is a hip camp? So on a hip camp, we've got a thing called WikiCamps here. It's an app on your phone. WikiCamps is fantastic. And it'll have all the campsites in your location, or it helps you plan your camping trips. So you can go, I'm going to go to this location, and you can zoom in and go, what campsites are around me? It'll tell you if it's a pull off the side of the highway and it's a gravel pit. And then you'll click on that and it'll go, it's a gravel pit, or it's a truck stop on the side of the highway. There's drop toilets, no showers, dogs allowed. It tells you all the information you need to know. Or it'll have a caravan park. This caravan park is a 5-star caravan park. It's pet friendly. It's got hot toilet showers, got a camp kitchen, got a dump point to dump your toilet and all that. So it's WikiCamps is an app on your phone. You probably got it in the US, mate. HipCamps is a similar thing. HipCamps is more of your private. It's another app where it's private people with their private property. They might have a cattle station with a nice little campsite along a creek or whatever. And they put it on HipCamps, and you can go and camp there, and you can book in through HipCamps. Trouble with HipCamps, I've found, everyone, people want $80, $60, $80 to camp in a cow paddock. Like, they're getting greedy, everyone. I don't think I've ever stayed at a HipCamp. When I was on our trip, me and Roz down to Tassie, we looked up a few HipCamp places in New South Wales, and people were wanting, and even Tasmania. We said, let's do a few HipCamps in Tassie. People want $80 to camp on their property in a cow paddock near a creek, where for $35, you could go to a caravan park in Tassie, $35 for a powered site right near the beach. You walk out of the caravan park, down onto a beautiful beach, camp kitchen, hot showers, toilets. Yeah, you're in a caravan park, but for $35, you got all the amenities. And then someone on Hip Camps wanted $80 to camp in a cow paddock. That's why me and Roz just went, we're not paying that money to go and camp in a cow paddock when we can camp in a caravan park and have all the amenities, and we're right near the beach. That's what I found. So I've never stayed at Hip Camps everywhere. I find them overpriced. Wiki Camps is a great app. I don't use Hip Camps. I know Steve and Annie use Hip Camps a lot. I don't use it. Logan saying, I hip camp, but nothing over 35 a night. No, and nor should it be. If you're camping somewhere and there's no toilets, there's no showers, it's just a bloody paddock to camp in, nor should you pay more than 35. Woodley Station, I thought, was reasonable. Woodley Station, beautifully kept campgrounds. You could go and collect firewood, not that there's any left anymore. On the mill stream, beautiful campsites, beautifully mowed, clean, tidy. In a 5-minute drive, you could go back to the homestead. They've got demountables there with flushing toilets and hot showers, because they do that because they don't want people digging holes and shitting and leaving their rubbish around at the campsites. So people just jump in there. And this is where it's handy to have your campsite separate from your vehicle, everyone. This is another advantage. I have my campsite set up. I jump in the BT and go for a drive. If I needed to go to the toilet in the morning or go into Ravenshoe for a drive, jump in, 5 minutes back, I've got to open a couple of gates, whoopee-doo, on the cattle station, and you go back to the homestead and have, not that I had a hot shower there, and go to the toilet at the homestead. And they encourage you to do that so you didn't have people digging holes and shitting in there. People are too lazy to dig a hole. We all know that. They just shit, go into the bush, shit, and then leave their toilet paper on top. Who wants to camp in camp areas like that? That's why I like Woodley Station. They got toilets back at the homestead, and the bloody campsites are pristine, everyone. Absolutely pristine. Yeah. So there you go. RSL, Return Services League. So it's a place where anyone's welcome, John, but RSL is the Return Services League for veterans and that, mate. It's a place that you can go, usually go have a beer, have a meal, have a nice steak, chips and salad or something. There's usually, most RSLs have got. Goshen Station, funny you should say that, Glenn. Is it Glenn? I was looking up Goshen Station last night, mate. I'm eyeing Goshen off. That's a place I want to go for a camp. Goshen Station, it's pretty remote, up on the Kirrima Range. I've been as far as Blanco Falls. I didn't go all the way into Goshen. So I want to go further into Goshen, keep going, come out on the Kennedy Highway near Mount Garnet, and then probably work my way back from Mount Garnet in at Hot Springs, Woodley Station again. But yeah, Goshen Station looks really, really nice. What did you say about Goshen, actually? That's why we go to Goshen Station camping, because most people won't pay to stay there. Okay. Glenn, what's the cost to stay at Goshen, mate? And what's the road like? I've been on the Kirrima Range Road. What's the road like from Blanco Falls into Goshen, and then from Goshen out to the Kennedy Highway? Is it 4-wheel drive type stuff, mate, or can you take a trailer? Could I take my garden trailer on that road? I know Kirrima gets a little bit rough in spots. But yeah, I was only looking up Goshen Station last night, mate. Funny you should mention that. And I know a couple of blokes at work have stayed at Goshen and said, oh, mate, that's a good spot to stay as well. Up in the Highlands there, and you got Blanco Falls. So yeah, Goshen's on my. How much is it, mate? I'm tipping it's not going to be cheap. It's not cheap, but worth it, $50. Okay, that's acceptable, mate. That's acceptable. Goshen Station, I'd pay $50 for. But when you're getting into, and from memory, Goshen Station, there's some beautiful, you can actually go kayaking, and there's no saltwater crocs up that high. So you can actually go kayaking and swimming and all that type of stuff. I could take my trailer. Okay, there you go, mate. So from Goshen out to the Kennedy is still okay for that little garden trailer, mate, or is it a bit rough for that? Or would I just need to swag it in the 4-wheel drive? No Crocs. Yeah. No, I've seen people swimming there at Goshen Station, so that's good. Paradise Camp is a hip camp. Is it on hip camps as well? I know it's on wikis as well. I'm not sure what D and them charge for Paradise Camps. That's a beautiful little swimming spot there. But yeah, $80, $85 to camp in a cow paddock, guys. Come on. I know they've got to cover their insurance costs, but people are getting greedy now. People are getting greedy. So yeah, what I'm saying is just lack of free camping spots where I live, everyone. You usually got to pay for it. National park or private property, you got to pay. There's very little free camping that I know about around where I live, unless you're camping at one of those places where backpackers stop over for the night. You know what I mean? Those types of spots, driver revivers and place like that. Go swag first. Yeah, I was thinking of throwing the swag on the BT and doing a BT only type trip there, mate, with the blow up swag. So yeah, Goshen Station, mate. I might give that a crack. She's pretty. It's pretty remote, isn't it? Like it's off the beaten track a fair bit. Goshen Station, and that's probably why it's a good place to go. You're away from everyone. Hopefully, you can buy some firewood and all that type of stuff up there as well. Chris said Notch Point. I was talking about Notch Point. Free camp, but auto-corrected got me. Okay, yeah, Notch Point. There's Notch Point and Midge Point. Notch Point's very nice as well. Crazy. Speak to, you're in Harvey Bay, mate. Speak to Jason from Crazy Dog. Jace has been to both Notch and Midge Point. So Jace has been there. He'll be able to tell you all about that. Make sure you take the Timmy Bates clothing. Yeah, we don't wear Timmy Bates's clothing up here, mate. Bloody lamb's wool jackets and boots and long pants and all. We don't wear that shit up here in North Queensland, John. We wear footy shorts, thongs and T-shirts, mate. That's bloody Southerners stuff, down in the cold stuff. We don't wear all that garbage up here in North Queensland. If it gets under 20 degrees Celsius, it's too cold for us. We call it quits. Plenty of firewood. Oh, that's good to know, mate. Glenn, thanks for all your info on Goshen, mate. Really appreciate it. I'll do some more research into that. But it's funny you should say that. I was searching Goshen last night on Google, mate, and having a look at it. Yeah. Paulie Martin saying the spot we're going next week is a hip camp, only $35 a night for the two of us. Yeah, well, that's acceptable, Paulie, but $85's not, mate. $35's acceptable nowadays. Even, you know, when hip camp started, it was like you go $5 a night, $10 a night, and it was just a little bit of pocket money to the farmers and the people who owned the property. I've no doubt that the insurances have gone up and they've got to cover their costs, so I get that. But $85 a night, nah. Actually, Roz and I we've found a good cattle station further out from Woodley before you get to Undara Lava Tubes on the Kennedy Highway. It's on the left. Forget its name now. It's a cattle station, bush camping, and they've got a pizza oven there, a wood-fired pizza oven. And they do coffees in the morning and wood-fired pizzas at night, just as a little side hustle for campers there. I forget the name of it now. Roz and I are going to take the van out there this year. After Barra Crab, Roz and I want to go out and do 2 or 3 nights out there, and it's only a couple of hours out, so it'll be good. Goshen's only 160 k's from home. I've been on that Kirrama Range Road. It's a good drive. I tell you what, there's some rough patches in it. It gets a bit rough in spots on the way up the Blanco Falls. But I only went as far as Blanco and came back down to the Bruce Highway. I want to keep going over and go to Goshen and then keep going to the Kennedy Highway, and it brings you out not far from Mount Garnet. Not far from Mount Garnet. And then I wouldn't mind having a little camp at Mount Garnet somewhere and then can whiz home to Innisfail from Mount Garnet. It's only a few hours drive from there. Timmy with that. Yeah, that's not a bad bloody. It's like an oilskin sleeveless jacket that Tim wears, and it's got lamb's wool on the inside. It'd be super warm. And the good thing about those sleeveless ones, they keep your back and your chest warm. Your arms can still move. So those bloody sleeveless things, they're very good, aren't they? Yeah, that one, I've no doubt Tim bought that down in Victoria somewhere. The old oilskin with the sheep's wool in the middle on the inside. You still get your arms free. It doesn't restrict you. We go through Mount Garnet from Cairns, Glenn's saying, oh, okay, mate, yeah, no worries. So that road from the road, it's unsealed, but it's still drivable, mate, out to get out onto the Kennedy Highway, because I want to not just come back, I want to keep going over to Mount Garnet. So only one way to find out, and that's to go and bloody do it, eh? So anyway, that might be this year, mate. I'll be doing that. What else? I've got some notes here, everyone. Hey, I want to go off on a little rabbit hole here, everyone, and I'll come straight back to camping. A former Australian Federal Police superintendent was on TV the other day, or on YouTube, actually. He's a retired superintendent from the Australian Federal Police. And he's obviously come out, and now that he's retired, he can say this. He said, in 2024, the Labor government, so there's things going on behind the scene. We're talking about Ben Roberts-Smith here, everyone. They changed the criteria for what a non-combatant in the Commonwealth Criminal Code, the definition of a non-combatant. So Ben's been charged with murdering 5 non-combatants in Afghanistan. So they were Taliban. Just because they weren't wearing a uniform, everyone, doesn't mean they weren't the enemy. No one wore a uniform. The enemy didn't wear uniforms in Afghanistan. So anyway, they changed 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they changed the criteria. So when they went to court, a non-combatant, there was a lot of criteria that the prosecutions had to prove for this person to be a non-combatant. What they've done now is change the criteria, so they only now have to prove one of those criteria for that person to be a non-combatant. And it gets worse. They've backdated it to 2002. They changed the Commonwealth Criminal Code. They've changed the definition of a non-combatant, and they backdated it to 2002. Is that just a coincidence, or is that a witch hunt? You tell me. So this former superintendent, which is a high-ranking officer of the Australian Federal Police, has let the cat out of the bag now and said that the Labor government, in conjunction with the courts, have changed what a non-combatant is, and they've backdated it. You can't tell me this ain't a witch hunt, everyone. That doesn't pass the pub test. It is putrid. And that's where I'm going to leave that one. The more you dig into this Ben Roberts-Smith shit, the more it stinks, everyone. The more it stinks. And the fact the media was tipped off before he was arrested, it just stinks to high heaven. And no one's doing anything about it. This country's corrupt, everyone. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Absolute scumbags, Beaker. Exactly, mate. Pauline will fix it. Yep. I love to see Pauline become PM. Geez, wouldn't that be interesting? Her being the Prime Minister. Hang on, anything could happen there. But if she does, I don't know if she's got the power. I'd love to see a pardon. First thing is like do a Trumpy. Executive order. Pauline sitting at a desk with an executive order. I pardon Ben Roberts-Smith. Drop all the charges. It's been a witch hunt from day dot. It's full of shit, and let's get on with it. So it's a disgrace. They're changing the goalposts to get him. Basically, in layman's terms, they're changing the goalposts to make it easier to get a guilty verdict whenever he goes to trial, everyone. Because they go on, oh, geez, there's this non-combatant thing. We're not going to get up on this. I know we'll change the friggin' rules to make it easier for the prosecution. That don't pass the pub test. It's bullshit. I just get angry when I start talking about this topic. So I'm going to get off it right now, everyone. Yeah. So that was like a Bob Catter moment there. I got angry and then I'm just back to normal. So when Bob Catter's talking about gay marriages, everyone say that's Bob's best one ever. He goes, Bob's an old 80-year-old politician here, John, in North Queensland. He wears a big cowboy hat and he's a loose cannon, but he just says shit. And you don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. And they asked Bob about gay marriage when gay marriage was voted in and it became legal for gay marriage. I had no problem with it. Good on him. And Bob goes, oh, let a 1,000 blossoms bloom and all this. And he's been all happy for them. And, you know, good luck to them. And, you know, let 1,000 blossoms bloom. And then he just changes in mid-sentence and goes, but every 3 months, someone's getting ripped apart by a crocodile in North Queensland. We need to start shooting them. He went off topic mid-sentence from gay marriage to people getting ripped apart by crocodiles. That was Bob's best one ever. Every time I see it on YouTube, type in Bob Catter, let 1,000 blossoms bloom, and you've seen a bloke just go, he just goes from that to that mid-sentence. Oh, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He's out there. Hey, since I've started doing my camping clips, everyone, part 3's out now, and everyone's up me going, Buck, you cooked a ginger beer damper, and then we got to wait till part 4 to watch you eat it. Well, I was trying to keep the episodes under 30 minutes, everyone. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently if your YouTube clips are over 30 minutes, YouTube starts bombarding like even more friggin' ads on there. And I was just trying to keep it under 30 minutes. See a YouTube clip that goes over 30 minutes, I find they don't watch the whole clip. So I'm trying to keep them under 30. Part 4 is about 33 or something. I got to when I was editing up, here's the ginger beer damper, which was bloody beautiful, by the way. And then I couldn't do the taste test because it would have taken me to 40 minutes or something. So part 4, you'll see me do the taste test on the ginger beer damper, which was sensational. Sensational. Ginger beer gives it so much fluffiness. And I use butter and golden syrup on one piece. And on the other piece, I use ginger marmalade and thickened cream. And I'll tell you what, I think the ginger marmalade and thickened cream was nicer than butter and golden syrup on that particular damper. So, yeah, that's out on Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock, everyone. So I got Monday, part 4 Monday, part 5 Friday, and part 6, the final part, is on the following Monday. So since I've been doing that, I've been getting bombarded on YouTube with the algorithm is all these other YouTube channels doing solo camping, which isn't a bad thing. Oh, I love watching that stuff. And one channel, I've heard of this channel, but I've never followed it. And it's called Go 4x4. And I didn't know if he's Aussie. He's an Aussie guy, and he's got a Jeep, John, a really nice Jeep Wrangler, and he's got it kitted out in the back. Anyway, he was on a solo camp, and the first thing I saw, he's got 1.8 million subscribers, everyone. He's got a huge YouTube channel. And as they do when they get like that, they've got the donation buttons and all that shit there. They've turned it into a business for themselves. Good luck to them. But first thing I saw, and is like everyone's up me for taking too much shit camping. And the one thing I did take that I didn't need on that camping trip was the gazebo. And I only took it to set it up to show everyone the gazebo. And I wanted to show Cam and Tiff because they're getting bombarded by flies over there in Western Australia. I said, Cam, you need something like this. I didn't need the gazebo. I admit that. I only set it up because I wanted people to see it, that Viva gazebo. I like that thing. It's really good. They go, oh, mate, you've got enough bloody shit to, for an army there. And I didn't have the swag took up half the camper trailer. The King's Big Daddy Air, it took up half the trailer. I had a set of solar panels. I know it looks like I've got a lot of gear with the Aussie camp, all that Aussie campfire kitchen stuff, except for the 2 poles. That all goes into a vinyl duffel bag, everyone, an Iron Man vinyl duffel bag. The plates and the grills and the rack, the billy hook, and all the utensils and that packs down into a duffel bag, which goes into the camper. So it looked like I had a lot of shit around the fire. Yeah, I did, but it packs up into one duffel bag. Got to have cooking gear. I had a billy. I had 2 plastic trunks. One was my tucker box. The other one had the billy and just some other camping gear in there. Paper towel and all that stuff that you need out camping. I had a 270 awning out and a swag underneath it. A little garden trailer that I carried the camping gear in. The BT50, it had nothing in it that it doesn't normally have in it. It had my fridge, the battery. That's about it. Like, I didn't have the BT50 loaded up with everything or anything because it was all in the trailer, except for the fridge. Obviously, it stays in the BT. So people go, oh, look at the shit you carry, Buck. I had a King's light for some light. Oh, I didn't think I had that much gear there. But this Go 4x4, as soon as I started watching his clip, his first thing's making a coffee in the morning, and he's got scales to weigh his coffee beans and an electric grinder for his coffee and all this. And I thought, you know what? People are up me for the amount of shit I take out on my camping trip. And here's a bloke, he's got his own coffee bean scales and frigging grinder and coffee machine. Oh, go and have a go at this bloke. He's got 1.8 million subscribers, so go and have a go at him. Does anyone watch him? He sounds like an all right young fella. Go 4x4. He's got a massive channel, and he's got a Jeep Wrangler. And here's Buck having a Billy tea and an instant coffee in the morning. People are up me about carrying too much shit. You can't win on YouTube, everyone. You cannot win. Honestly, it doesn't matter what you do. You get people that go, ugh. So anyway, you just go, yeah, mate, no worries, buddy. Good on you. The only thing I really didn't need there was the gazebo. And I admit that. I didn't need to take it. I had 2 plastic boxes sitting in there in the gazebo. I could have just put them in the back of the BT. I only put the gazebo there because I wanted people to see it, that it's an option when you go camping, that this gazebo is a great option to own it, especially if you're in an area that's got a lot of mosquitoes or a lot of flies during the day. And I said to Cam, mate, you and Tiff have got to get something like this gazebo. The flies are driving you mad on your camping trips over in Western Australia. So anyway, and the Aussie Q said the Aussie Fizz and M. What bag do you use for the Aussie Campfire? Rob, I've just got a, you can get them at King's too, mate. It's a duffel bag, but it's a vinyl. So it's a bit, it's just a tough duffel bag. It's a vinyl duffel bag, and it's one I got from Ironman. Morris Grasso Motors here in town. Morris has got an Ironman store, and he's got all your Ironman camping gear and a vinyl duffel bag. So it's pretty strong. And I just put a bit of rubber shower mat at the bottom, or strip it. No, it's just some rubber shower mat. And I'll put all my Aussie Campfire gear in there, mate. Normally, I don't take the heavy plate. I usually just take the 2 grills. But I knew I was cooking pancakes, so that's when I had the trailer. I usually leave the heavy plate behind. I took it this time because I knew I was cooking pancakes. I could have done them in a frying pan, I know that, but I wanted to do it on the hot plate. So the Aussie Campfire kitchen stuff isn't that heavy, everyone, when you leave the big heavy plate behind. It is heavy. If you just get the grill or 2 of the grills, the swing around grills, they're not too bad. Kings have got vinyl duffel bags now. A couple of different sizes, every one. Siren going down the road. So, Kings have got vinyl duffel bags as well. I put all my Aussie. The pole doesn't fit in. I just slide the pole into the trailer. But all the other stuff, the billy hook and the accessory rack and all the tongs, and I just put everything in a duffel bag. So I grab it out of the trailer. That's my Aussie Campfire kitchen gear. Grab me axe, bang the peg in, put your swinger rounds on. Timmy Bates has got a homemade one that a blacksmith did up for him. Great way to cook. Those swing around grills, just a great way to cook over fire. Yeah, exactly right. That gazebo, I rate it. It's easy to set up. It's light. It's long, but it's light compared to a normal 3-meter pop-up gazebo. It is a lot lighter than that. It's got a waterproof roof, and it's got walls that you can just Velcro on. If it's rain coming in from the side, you get out and put a bloody waterproof wall on. They are really, really good. I rate it, eh? I didn't need it on this trip because I was under the 270 awning and my swag. So, yeah, I don't know. Everyone's up me because I take too much gear, but you've got to be comfortable when you're out camping. And now that I've got the garden trailer, that's where I'm going with this. Now that I've got that little box trailer with an awning on it and a toolbox up the front and the bazooka thing for washing your hands and all that, I can take extra camping gear now. I don't have to load up the BT50 and have the bloody roof rack loaded up, the back of it loaded up, shit poled in the back seat with Rafa. I throw everything in the garden trailer and tow it. Pull it out, set up, and I've got the BT50, nothing in it except for the fridge and the battery, and I can go exploring. I reckon it's a good little way to camp. I really do. It's a great way to camp. I remember camping over in Western Australia when Lauren was a little girl, and I used to go out camping with Lauren's uncle, Grant, and Grant and Joe used to just have a normal, they had a little Hyundai four-wheel drive, and Grant towed a little box trailer. This is back in the late 90s, everyone, early 2000s. Grant towed a box trailer out camping with him in West Aussie. And he used to just pull his boxes of stuff out, set up his camp, and he still had his car to drive around. And even back then, I thought, that's a good way to camp, little box trailer. And I've done it now, and I'm glad I did. It bloody works well. I know it's not like having like a drifter camper trailer with all the bells and whistles on a rooftop tent. I would love to have kept my drifter camper trailer, everyone. Once again, I can't justify having a caravan, a drifter camper trailer, and a garden trailer. It's all rego, it's servicing, it's all to do with money. You just can't keep hanging on to everything. Something's got to go. Okay. So anyway, it's funny, Dana and I used to take away more stuff for a short weekend away. We take less when we're on the road for months. Yeah, it's funny that, eh? It doesn't matter whether you're camping for one night or 10 nights. You still take the same amount of shit, don't you? You really do. Yeah, I could go even more simple, everyone. I could have thrown the roof rack. I could have thrown the roof rack on the BT50. And if I go to Goshen Station, I'm not sure if Roz will want to come up on that one, but if it's a solo trip with me and Rafa, I won't even take the box trailer on that. It'll be swag on the roof rack. And I'll be doing it even more simpler than what I was doing. I'll still throw the Aussie Campfire kitchen gear in the back, in the duffel bag. I'll have my swag on the roof rack. I'll still have the fridge and the battery there. What else will I have? Anyway, you just depends on what kind of camping trip you're going on, everyone. You're going to the beach or you're going inland. If I'm staying in a caravan park near the beach, I'm going to be doing beach walks, maybe some fishing off the beach. I don't need the Aussie Campfire kitchen. It depends where you're camping and what type of camping you're doing as to what gear you take. So, yeah, as I said, everything's got pros and cons. One thing I do rate, those King's tripod lights, everyone. Bloody brilliant bit of kit. Wait till Brad went to King's the other day and got 2 for $99. Don't buy them when they're like $100 each or whatever. Wait till they're on special, 2 for $99. They're great. If you have a power outage at night at home, bring one of them King's tripod lights in, set it up in your lair. You got light in your house. Like, don't just think about camping. Think about bloody if you have a power outage or something like that. They're brilliant. Brad said, "Oh, mate, they're 2 for $206 at the moment." I said, "Wait a week, Brad." He did. 2 for $99. Russ went into King's the other day in Townsville. I only get a couple of tripod lights back, and he rang me, goes, "They've sold out." So they're going like hotcakes, those things. Yeah. John said, is that the Aussie Campfire kitchen you're talking about, John, with just a pole and a swing-around grill? Very simple, mate. I don't know if you have blacksmiths over there or you know someone who's his metalwork. Get a pole and a swing-around grill, and then you just you put your little frying pan over the top, a cast-iron frying pan. It's a really good way to cook when you're out and you've got an open fire. It is bloody brilliant. It really is. Oh, no, the light system. We might have to send you one, John. We might have to send you a King's light over, mate. They just charge on a USB-C, which USB-A one end and a USB-C the other end. So I'm sure you have USB charging in America, the same as us. And what do you reckon, everyone? We get John a King's light and we send it over to him. And it's got to appear, John, on one of your videos, mate, next time you're out camping with some friends. And give the Buckaroony community a shout out with your King's light. So that's what we might do. We might get the light's not the problem, it's the postage. The postage to send shit to the United States is bullshit expensive. But anyway, I might go in with one of my King's lights and just see Merrill at the post office and go, can you give us a rough idea on how much it is to post one of these to Oregon? And if it's reasonable, mate, we'll send you over one. We can do anything on this community. We can do anything. Did you see all the Buckaroony? Did you see all the suitcases that we got for Hope in a Suitcase, everyone? The little animal-themed ones that Brett from SMG got from Alibaba. 100 went to New South Wales, 100 went to Townsville. Townsville's pumping them out and putting heaps of photos up of our little kid suitcases, all animal themes. There's crocodiles and lions and elephants and all that. And they're bloody going out. It's pretty sad how many foster kids are up in North Queensland. But those bags that we did from the sale of the Aussie shirts, everyone, that, like, you've seen it now. You've seen our charity money in action. So you can go, and it was good to see the picture they put up this morning. You can see Mum's crocheted rugs in each bag's got one of Mum's crocheted rugs in there, which makes me very proud. And even proud that our Buckaroony community, those little kids bags. So guys, if you ever want to try and donate to Hope in a Suitcase, just keep in the back of your mind, if you want to buy more of those suitcases, get on to Brett at SMG. Brett's still got the lady that sends them over. And I'll tell you what, they come sea freight. They were here within about 6 weeks. Very, very, considering it was sea freight, very, very, and they're about, I don't know, what were they, $6 or $7 each or something. You try and buy a suitcase like that at the cheap shops here, and they want 35, 45, 50 bucks. Some little kid suitcase is $60. We got 100 for delivered for $1,100 or something. So it was like a bit over $10 a bag, everyone. So get on to Brett at SMG, and if you ever you're in an organisation, you want to do something for charity, keep those bags in mind, because that's the biggest ticket item that Hope in a Suitcase have to get. That's the most expensive thing, is the actual bag or the suitcase. They get lots of stuff to put in them. They said, Buck, we just haven't got the bags. And we ended up getting 200 of those suitcases, and they're getting put to use. So, yeah, the King's Light's great. I think everyone, let's see how many have got it. Let's do a poll, everyone. Start a poll. Ask the question. Click on the right spot bar. Do you have a... Jamie Fort, was it Jamie or Marky Lavelle showed me this down at the camping with mates. Said, Buck, check this out. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad I've got a couple of them now. They're bloody brilliant. How many of you out there got a King's tripod light, everyone? And if you haven't got one, I reckon they're good. And what I'm impressed with, I had mine going for 2 or 3 nights. And when I got home to recharge it, there's 4 blue lights. I still had 3 blue lights on it. And I ran it for not all night, obviously, just on and off for 3 nights. And the battery in it lasts for ages. And it's super simple to charge up by a USB-C cable, which it comes with, a nice long USB-C. 62% of the Buckaroony community has got a King's tripod light. Righto, guys, I reckon we're going to put the challenge out. I'm going to go and price a King's tripod light. I'll see if I might get, I don't know, might have to buy another 2. I'm going to a King's store on Wednesday, everyone. I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm taking the caravan up to Cairns, and guess what's in Cairns? The King's store. And there's a couple of things I want to get. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Yeah, everyone's got 2, because you wait till it's 2 for $99, which is about $60. 2 of them for $99. They are bloody brilliant, and they fold down nice and small. They're extendable. They're on a thing. They fold down nice and small. They got yellow and white light, 3 low, medium, and high settings on both yellow and white. Bloody brilliant bits of kit. And when you fold the light out, it doesn't just face down. You can actually angle it and face the light in different angles. So you can actually point one light that way and one light that way. Really, really good. No, but I've got half a dozen King's lights. Just haven't been in the store yet. Yeah, I know. Yes, and I will. When I go in, I'll see the manager in King's on Wednesday, John, and I'm going to go, there's a guy I know in Oregon, and he said, get on a management. We want a Adventure King store in Portland, Oregon. John said, you've got to build one in Portland, Oregon. I tell you, they're good. You've probably got good camping stores there, but John, the good thing about the King store, when 10 years ago, 12 years ago, they had a lot of shit in there, mate. It was cheap, nasty, and they've upped their game now. There's some good stuff in there, and it's affordable for the average Joe, and that's why it does so well. It's not top of the range, ridiculous. You wait till they have their specials on, and if you go in there, if you're just into camping and someone wants to I want to get into camping and get my family out camping, you just go to a King store. They've got everything you need there, from chairs to cooking to solar panel to everything you need. And it's at a bloody realistic price. They don't price. That's the way what I like about Kings. They don't price gouge everyone. A lot of companies out there that import this stuff from China, and then they put the big Aussie dollars on top of it. And you think, come on, guys, you're price gouging. I can say this about Kings. I don't reckon they keep it realistic. Their prices are realistic, and that's why they're doing well. Yeah. Yeah, well, John, I think I said on your live feed, I'm pretty sure Iron Man started in Australia. Can someone Google, where did Iron Man originate, everyone? Where did Iron Man? I'm sure it's an Australian company. I'm sure Iron Man originated in Australia, and they went over to America and did very well for themselves. Can someone Google that, please? Walmart's comparable. Yeah, we don't have Walmarts here, but I think you can. I always saw Walmarts as like Coles and Woolworths, where you buy your food and your groceries. But I think your Walmarts, you can buy just about, probably like Aldi. You go into Aldi, you can buy food, but you can buy camping gear and that as well. I don't think they're as big as bloody. Okay. So John said, yeah, it's an Australian company. There you go. So why not Adventure Kings? Why not Adventure Kings start up in the USA? Kings, if you need a manager in Portland, Oregon, I know a bloke who could probably do it for a couple of years. Me and Roz could go over and get the first King store up and running in Portland, Oregon. We'll probably get caught up in a bloody Black Lives Matter rally or something, and our shop will get burnt to the ground. Wasn't Oregon, Portland, one of the bad places during the Black Lives Matter thing, John? They were burning shit to the ground over there. I'm sure Portland was one of those places. Yeah, well, there you go. It's gone up again already, Rod Mahoney. Tripod lights today, $76. Nah, wait till they're 2 for $99, everyone. Give it a couple of weeks. Keep an eye on the King's specials, and you'll see tripod lights, 2 for $99. Don't buy them any dearer than that. Suburbs, yeah, not in Portland, but out in the outer suburbs, yeah. Anyway, John, I'll ask him. I'm going to, John Bean from 143 JKRD said, get a King store over in Portland, Oregon or nearby so he can get in and spend all his money like we all do. So what am I doing on Wednesday? Roz doesn't know this, everyone. She's at the sink at the moment. I don't think she's watching it on her phone. I'm going to sneak in there. Roz is with me on Wednesday, so she'll know what I'm doing. The 270 awning, everyone. It's got zips. So I want to go in and get one wall that I can zip onto the 270 King's awning and peg it out just in case the rain's coming in sideways. I've got a waterproof wall for the 270. I'll just keep it in the blue trunk at the front of the trailer. So if it is raining, I can zip a wall on the 270 awning. I'm also thinking of getting one of their 36 amp hour power packs, which are nice little portable power, 36 amp power pack with USBs and all that. Because a lot of the time I find myself pulling out the iTech World JS80, which is for if the battery goes flat on the BT50, I use the JS80 as a jumper starter. And you can also use it as a power pack. I don't want to use it as a power pack just in case I need it one day. Oh, we've been using it all night to charge lights and torches and fans and all that. And then I'll go to start the BT and she's out of power. So I want to keep that for the BT and buy a King's 36 amp hour power pack, and you can also run a fridge for overnight off them as well. Charge your lights up, and it's just a little portable thing we can, if we're off 240 in the caravan, rather than the big the Blue Eddy, I'll just keep the Blue Eddy and the BT. We can just take the little power pack into the caravan, set it on one of the benches, and Ros can charge her phone and all that off it. So I'll probably buy, there's 12, 24, and 36. I'll probably buy the 36 amp hour. And the good thing about that is if I'm just going out in the BT, it's got a USB-C on it with a 100-watt output, which is what you need for Starlink Mini. So you can run your Starlink Mini overnight on the little 36 amp hour power pack. So I'm looking at a power pack, a waterproof wall for the 270 awning. And if you buy 4 items, you usually get a bundle deal at King's. So I'll no doubt I will see 2 other things that I like, and I'll put it. I'll say, bundle this up, mate. I've got 4 items. Give me the power pack cheaper. Four items for a bundle deal, and I'll walk out, and then Ros will knock me out for spending money in King's again. So keep your eye out on Wednesday, everyone, and I'll let you know what I get. I definitely want to get a waterproof wall for the 270, and Jan's sending me the zip and the Velcro part. She's doing them up for me and going to give them to me at the Barra Crab, so I can do the Shady Gear walls on there. So if it's sunny coming in, I can put the Shady Gear walls up. If the rain's coming in sideways, I can zip a bloody King's waterproof wall on and keep the rain out that way. So, yeah. If you hear that door open, John, you know what's coming. There'll be a bloody... John said I'll get a slipper to the side of the head. Yeah, exactly right. So anyway, Go 4x4. He's got a nice setup. Have a look at that, John. Go 4x4. He's an Aussie guy. He's got a Jeep Wrangler, and it's bloody set out beautifully. Everything, he's got it set out. Everything's in clear top, zip top bags, and yeah, he's a professional, that bloke. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, as soon as I saw his scales for coffee beans and all that, he kind of lost me. People are up me. At least I still have a filthy old instant when I go out camping and have a billy tea. I don't have scales and bloody electric grinders for me beans and all that. How fancy do we need to get, everyone? So we go out in the caravan, me and Ros, we still drink instant coffee. We drink instant coffee at home. I don't have a coffee machine at home. If I go into town, me and Ros or whatever, we might have a nice cappuccino at the cafe or whatever. Yeah. 54% of yous, let's end that poll because I'm going to finish up soon. 54% of yous have got a King's light. So over half the community owns a King's tripod light. Now, listen, if I got a spotter's fee on all that, I'd be rich, man. I said to Russ the other day, Russ's mates with the manager of King's at Townsville, I said, Russ, tell that bloke, Ash his name is, tell Ash, Buck should be getting the spotter's fee. Every time someone comes into King's and buys something, they should go, where'd you see this? Buckaroony. Buck gets a spotter's fee, and we'll put it to charity. What do you reckon? Kings need to get on board and give me a spotter's fee for every time someone goes in. I get so many photos, everyone, on Messenger and that, and it'll be someone go, Buck, look where I am, and they'll have a photo of their local King store. And I laugh every time. I think, yeah, I know where you're going. You're going in the King store. Try going into a King store and coming out empty-handed, everyone. It'd be hard. You'd have to leave your credit card inside the car or leave it at home. It's the only way you could do it. Iron Man started in Melbourne. Yeah, I thought it was an Aussie business. Yeah. Stand by for Buck with a black eye. Yeah. So Ros thinks we're just going to Cairns on Wednesday to drop the caravan off and to have lunch. I don't think I've mentioned we're going to the King store as well. So tell you what I want to do. That Epiphone Gibson SG guitar, my little cheap amp that came with it sounded shit, everyone. So I'd like to take that up with me on Wednesday too and go into the music, Buzz Music in Cairns, where that was purchased from. I want them to plug that into a good amp and see if it sounds shit because of the guitar or was it the amp. And if it was the amp, if it sounds good on a decent amp, it just sounded distorted. Everything just sounded distorted. I couldn't get a nice clear sound out of it. So I don't know if the pickups are playing up in it or was it just the shit quality amp I had? So I might go into Buzz Music on Wednesday when I'm up in Cairns. Me and Roz are going to suss out a nice little place where we can have Rafa, have a nice lunch up there, drop the caravan off at 8:30. It could take up until 4 o'clock in the hour. They're going to ring us when it's ready. So we're going to fill in some time up in Cairns. We might go for a drive out to the northern beaches, Yorkeys Knob or Holloway's Beach. And that's where we're going. Roz has already picked where we're going. There's a beautiful little cafe at Holloway's Beach, which is one of the Cairns northern beaches. Beautiful little cafe on the beach. And we're going to go and have breakfast there. And you're allowed to have your dogs. It's a beautiful outdoor area near the beach. And you're allowed to have your dogs out there and all that. So we're going to go to the Holloway's Beach Cafe and have a nice breakfast together. Nice coffee and bacon and eggs and all that type of stuff. So that'll be good. Looking forward. I don't go up to Cairns much anymore. I put me on a self-exclusion thing to Cairns because I found that every time I went to Cairns, I was ending up in that you-know-what place. The BT just kept hovering towards the King store. I don't know why, but it just did. And once you get in there, it's like a crab pot, everyone. The King stores, they're like a crab pot. Once you get in there, you can't get out of the place. There's too much good stuff in there, and you can't get out of there. Get a Boss Katana 50 amp, mate. Love mine. A Boss Katana 50 amp. What is that, Chris? I have no idea what a Boss Katana is. Oh, so guitar. Amplifier. Sorry, mate. Oh, sorry. I thought, what kind of camping gear is that? I don't know that bit of camping gear. You're talking about a bloody guitar thing. A Boss Katana 50 amp. All right. Good stuff, mate. I still can't play a bloody note on that, but yeah, I don't know if I'll buy the actual. I'll probably $750 down on the caravan Wednesday and probably a couple of $100 at the King store. Probably won't be able to afford to buy an amp, but I want to get the guitar checked out and eye off an amp so that maybe in a couple of paydays or pension days I can maybe get a decent amp and get back into my electric guitar. So I've had that for a couple of years now, or a year, 18 months, still can't play a note on it. Hopeless. I'm about as good on a guitar as I am at servicing my own car. Useless. Anyway, I've been on for 2 hours 18. Too long. Too much bullshit. I'll make sure I haven't bloody forgotten anything. So lack of camping areas. Lack of free camping areas. I've got that up here. We don't have a lot of state forests up here, everyone. We don't have a lot of state forests. A lot of national park up here. Even Cape York. Even Cape York and a lot of the camp places, you to pay for them. That's the way it is now, eh? I had me ran on Ben Roberts-Smith, changing the goalposts on him. That's about it, everyone. I didn't have a lot to talk about this morning, but I still managed to waffle shit for over 2 hours. So thanks for tuning in. John, looking forward to your next live feed, mate. As I said, you don't have to do them every year. Just come up with some dot points and make sure you do. Get on to 143JKRD, everyone. Hit the subscribe and then hit the notification bell. So if John comes on, he said, I want to do it Friday afternoon, his time, which is 9 a.m. Australian Eastern time. So if you're not doing anything Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, you're sitting around the house with a coffee, keep your ear to the ground. I know if John's going to do them every week like I do, but keep your ear to the ground and pop on John's live feeds. It was a good one. The first one, we talked about Yellowstone National Park, bisons. What else did we talk about? Gophers. John fell down a gopher hole and nearly broke his leg. Luckily he didn't. It was bloody huge. John's walking along with his camera. Next minute he's on the deck. Everyone's going, whoa, looking around. John fell down a gopher hole, everyone. And he said, I could have broken my leg easily in the bloody thing because he wasn't watching where he was going. He was filming. And they were in Yellowstone National Park. Oh, no, you were at the Tetons, weren't you? Green Teton National Park, I think, that time. But anyway, some spectacular country. Spectacular. Idaho, Montana, and these places John and Dana are going. Just countryside we don't get to see here in Australia, everyone. Snow-capped mountains, and just absolutely magnificent. So we're talking about all that type of stuff. So anyone wants to buy a little Jeep, John's selling his Jeep. I'll swap you your Jeep, John, for a King's Light. How about that? You post your Jeep over to me, and I'll post you a King's Light. I reckon that's a fair swap. What do you reckon? So anyway, bye, everyone. Blackers, Joshy Hatch, thanks for tuning in today. Bradley Howell, Brad and Mary have not split up, everyone. I can confirm they are selling their caravan, but they haven't split up. And Brad is not on Grindr, everyone. He hasn't turned that corner yet. He's not on Grindr, and he's not splitting up from Mary. Anyway, so if you hear anyone go, oh, the Howells are selling their caravan, something's going on. No, it's not. They just want to bloody go in a different direction. They're selling their caravan. If anyone wants a Zone RV, Brad and Mary are selling theirs, and it's got all the bells and whistles on it. It's got all the fruit on it. Beautiful caravan. It's only 3 years old too, Brad, I think, isn't it, mate? So anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I haven't finished yet, everyone. Can anyone? This is the main thing I want to do. I haven't finished it. I was just tricking everyone. My cook-up this afternoon, if the weather stays nice, I'm doing my first tailgate cook-up. I was hoping to go to the beach and do it in a beautiful location. The weather's hit and miss. It'll probably be on me tailgate in the backyard here, but I'm going to do a cook-up. It's going to be a Mr. Buckarooni's special fly lice. And what am I cooking it in? Can anyone guess? I went to a shop the other day and I was going to buy something for the house and I couldn't find it. They didn't have the one I wanted at Kmart. So I ended up going to Harvey Norman to buy one for the kitchen. Anyway, I saw this little thing in Kmart. I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a cook-up with that, and I reckon it will come in handy when I'm out cooking because I can use it. It runs on 240 volts, everyone, and I can use it off my little Bluetti power station. Does anyone know what I got? No, not a rice cooker. I take my... John said, I'll take back my goodbye because I was tricking you. Look what I got, everyone. It fits in a little clear top King's bag. Can anyone see what I've got? It runs on 240 and it only pulls. I went in to buy a frying pan for home. One of the old square electric frying pans with these zips. Don't like going around corners, everyone. Anyway, I saw these. They had the big ones and they were rectangular shape. I'm like, no, that's no good for home. And it looked a bit cheap and nasty, but they had these ones. Look at that. A little baby electric frying pan. Nearly smashed the lid. Have a look at it. It's a perfect size for one person. Comes with a 240 volt cord. So I saw it and I thought, oh, yeah, little baby frying pan. So what did I do? I looked on the back of it, on the tag, and it says it uses between 450 and 520 watts. Oh, the big frying pans use like 1,800, 2,000 watts, like an electric jug. This thing uses 450 to 520 watts. And I said, you know what? My little Bluetti power station, it's got an 1,800 watt inverter in it. It'll run this, no worries. So I got it home, hooked it into the Bluetti, and I fried an egg up in it in about 2 minutes. It gets super hot like any normal frying pan. It's got a non-stick surface in there. Like you think you do a little fried rice. You could do a fried rice in that for 2 people. Non-stick surface. So where am I going after this? I'm going into Coles to buy the ingredients for a special fly lice. And I'm going to do a tailgate cook-up this afternoon using my Bluetti power station in this little Kmart electric frying pan. And I cooked the egg up the other day and it was pulling 460 watts. So it's bugger all. The Bluetti power station will power that, no worries at all. So when you go on to induction cooking, you've got to use a normal frying pan. Induction cooking, I think my induction cooker, it starts off on 2,000 watts. So it just trips out the Bluetti straight up because it starts up at 2,000 and then it just trips the Bluetti up. This thing here, that gets hot in about 30 seconds. You turn it up. I'll be able to do up a nice little fried rice in that. So I'm going to do a little special fried rice in that this afternoon using a packet rice on the tailgate. But when you go out by yourself, if it's windy and you haven't got a fire or whatever, and you've got the little Bluetti or you've got an inverter in your four-wheel drive, let's face it, even if you've only got a 600 watt inverter in your 4-wheel drive, you could run this little frying pan off your inverter or your power station. You can sizzle up snags in that, sizzle a steak up, scrambled eggs and bacon in the morning, fried rice. What else? You could probably cook a little, I don't know, think outside the box. Send me a comment and let me know what you want to see me cook on the tailgate of the BT in my little electric frying pan. It pulls so much less power than what an induction cooker does, everyone. So there you go. It fits in one of these little King's clear top bags. And there's room there to put a couple of plastic spatulas and a set of tongs with the rubber thing so you don't scratch the non-stick. And there's your cooking stuff. Throw that in the drawer system. Grab your little Blue Eddy out. Plug it in. And if it's windy down at the beach or whatever, you can still cook in that. The wind's not going to affect it. And it pulls bugger all power. I cooked a fried egg up in that the other day. I didn't eat it, I don't. But 2 minutes, cracked an egg in, a little bit of oil, cracked the egg in, and in 2 minutes, I had a fried egg in that. Bloody brilliant. Oh, there you go. And I've just dropped it. It's probably broken now. But whip up a bacon and egg roll in a few minutes. Yeah, I know, exactly right. So there you go. I've got another bit of cooking equipment, everyone. A little Kmart electric frying pan, little cute one. I reckon it's a beauty. So I'm going to do a video this afternoon. Buck's special fried rice in my little Kmart thing, and that'll come out after the Woodley Station clips finish, everyone. You'll see. And then I'm going to do another tailgate cook up in the Damo cooker on gas. I'm going to do a green Thai chicken curry up in that. So if there's anything else you want to see me do a tailgate cook up on the BT50, what do you want to see me do in that little frying pan? Give me some suggestions, everyone. Yeah, I love the long goodbye. Sorry, Jennifer, I forgot about me frying pan. What do you reckon? What do you reckon about me frying pan, everyone? I reckon it's not a bad little bit of cooking gear. As I said, people cook with induction. You've got to have a big inverter for the conduction. That one there, if you've only got a 600 watt inverter, you can run that little frying pan. All right, it's no good for a big family. If you're by yourself and you just want to cook some mince, put a bit of bloody frozen veggies in, some mince, cook a little spaghetti bolognese or something up in it for one person or even two people. That's enough for two people. I reckon it's in. Pancakes, there you go, Chris, pancakes. Send some bloody suggestions to me, everyone, for me tailgate cook-ups. And I'm always after ideas. See you later. I'm definitely going. Curried snags, Justin. Absolutely. That could be another cook-up in there. Me little Kmart frying pan. See you, everyone. Sorry to bloody go for so long. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye now. See ya.